Yeah, we're live. But yeah, you guys can continue talking. That's fine. My bad.
Yeah, Prince Persia. I love it. It's a good series.
Yeah.
Um, One of my all times. Definitely still in the top five for sure. Top five at least. And to be honest, in no particular order is my favorite games. And to be honest, it changes like all the time.
Yeah, dude. It shifts for me. Like I said, every 6 months. Giving a top three is not possible. I don't think. I think I'd
Yeah.
have to go. I'd have to go console by console, and I'd have to have like 10. You'd have to
I,
let me have 10 games for each console.
I would go era by era. Like there are certain games that you appreciate in the era, but if you try to play them now, you know, they're not fun. You know.
Yeah, yeah. Some
Yeah.
games do not age well.
A
So,
Yep.
lot of games don't age well, bro.
yeah.
A lot of them don't.
I I have a controversial take. You can tell me if I'm wrong. I think The Witcher Three's combat is aged like milk.
Yeah,
I like milk.
it's
It's
pretty
good.
classic. It's pretty timeless. Just overall concept of a game, pretty timeless.
I mean, the game's awesome. I think the combat does not feel like what it felt like in 2015 when I played it for the first time. I
For
could be wrong.
me, for
It
me,
felt the
yeah, the
same to me, to
original
be honest.
Final
I like
Fantasy
it.
VII. For me, the original Final Fantasy VII would be that
Okay.
great game at the time, but trying to play it now,
Fellow legends, welcome in.
it's
Welcome to the
hard.
stream.
Welcome in, Bella.
Welcome to the pod.
What's up, Bello?
What's up, Iggy?
Yo, Iggy, welcome in.
Iggy, welcome in, y'all. Y'all, they came in like flooding. Let's go. That's what I like to see.
They were waiting in the wings for
Yeah,
that
my bad,
notification.
yo. Technical difficulties. Listen, we're gonna get there one day, Chad. I promise you. We're gonna get there. We're gonna be there. It's just minor issues, man. Minor issues. Growing pains. Let's call it growing pains.
Um, I'm ready whenever you guys are. So you just say the word, Cash.
All right. I'm about to switch over and like let's pull up back the
Oh,
podcast notes and we should be
this is
good.
a Gamer Actual podcast where we're about to butcher all of these feudal Japanese names.
Facts. Facts.
Yeah, let's see what the chat has to say about that. That's what I'm looking forward to the
Yeah.
most. It should be a
Um,
pretty interesting night.
I don't know in the
Very
community who's
nice.
big Assassin's Creed fans, but whoever it is, be sure that you represent your franchise.
Yes, sir. But yo, listen, I should have said this before, like in the pre-show, but Goot. So the way this is gonna work is pretty much Cash is gonna like lead the show, in terms of the categories and whatnot, and you and Germ will speak first, and then I'll speak last. That way we don't butt over each other, so we know the order of things.
Oh
Yeah, and
yeah,
then
we
Cool.
already talked about that.
Okay,
I'll
cool.
defer to you, Maury. Like you lead us off with the discussion, and we'll kind of just follow your lead. With how it goes. We'll all give our opinions and stuff. Heartless will close us out. Cash will give his, take, and then we'll move on if we're done talking about. So sometimes we ramble. So
I love it. Okay, cool. I'm
I
excited.
promise Superman won't come up this episode. It's a very low chance that he'll come up today.
What Suicide Squad?
Superman?
No,
What about
Superman.
Suicide
There's a
Squad?
very low chance.
Ah, cool.
All right, we ready? So, but real quick, in terms of all the releases, we're really only going to focus on Homeworld, right? Because I don't really have any one of them that I want to talk about. So,
Yeah, nothing stuck out to me this week. So, yeah. I've heard Brady's great. Never played it.
I watched Homeworld on Reaper's stream a few times. He's been streaming that game a lot. It looks really interesting. To be
Yeah,
honest,
that's
a little
exactly what I was
boring,
about
but
to
I don't
point out
understand the
too.
gameplay. So, definitely a PC game.
The future of your business is here. With Whips, you get advanced AI capabilities, more customization, more time.
Stop that.
All right, let's go. We ready to go. Everybody, all are on camera. Smile. If y'all can't smile, just wave.
I'm not really good at smiling.
Hey, yo,
It's
welcome in,
like
folks. Welcome in.
it's got to
Actually,
be natural
I
for me.
take back what I said. I think Mullet Mad Jack will be the game that I talk about because it seems
Bullet
like a
Magi.
tribute. Mullet Mad Jack seems like a tribute to Duke Nukem, so I'll give it a little shout out. That'll be the only game I'll talk about.
Okay. All right. Let's get this intro going.
Let's get it.
All right. Welcome to Gamer Actual, the weekly podcast dedicated on discussing some of the. Let's try that over. I'm sorry. We're gonna do that again. Better take. Welcome to Gamer Actual, the weekly podcast dedicated on discussing some of the biggest in gaming news. You can find us on all major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and the visual version of this podcast being available on YouTube at youtube.com/gameractual. This podcast is also brought to you in part by the guys over at X Elements. To find out more about X Elements and what they do, check out the podcast notes in the description below. Now, without further ado, I'm your host, Cash, and I bring to you Heartless and Germ. But we also have a special guest. I know you guys noticed somebody that's right there below us.
Down there in the corner.
Yes.
What a handsome fella, yeah.
He's our guest for tonight. He's a video game enthusiast and loves, to be honest, I love a lot of his takes. So we recently met Goot last week. I feel like this guy's on like a rapid rise, guys. I don't know if you guys agree with this, but this man started streaming 7 days ago. 7 days ago, right? And he, by chance, found our podcast. I popped into his podcast. No, I popped into his stream, and we realized that this guy is actually pretty dope, and he knows a lot about the industry right now. So right now, he's at 40 followers in a week. He started streaming 7 days. He's already at 40 followers, right? Let's get this man to 50. Let's help him to get some money on YouTube. Ladies and gentlemen, GWT Mori, welcome in. Welcome in.
Wow, what a phenomenal introduction, Cash. Thank you. I don't think that anyone could have done that better. Thank you. I really appreciate all your kind words. I'm really happy to be here tonight on Gamer Actual and excited to chat with you guys about some of the news this week.
Welcome in, man. We're
Welcome in.
excited to have you.
Misfortune 500, welcome to the stream. But yeah, let's keep going, guys.
Well, I've watched some of your stream. Like the passion you got on that stream, it's contagious.
Yeah,
I
that's
can't
why I
make
was like, no, we need to get him on the pod.
You know how sometimes you
Dude.
have a stream
sure.
and you just like have it there to support the person, but not this guy. Like as soon as I open it and he starts talking, I want to watch. You know?
Man.
Great stuff.
Thank you, Jerm. Thank you. Like I said, the fact that I came into your guys' podcast last week, just catching the back end of it, just out of complete happenstance, because you guys had marked the videos an Overwatch 2 video, and I was looking for somebody to raid. It's just nuts. And yeah, hearing you guys talk about the industry, just super well informed, very warm people. It's really great to be here this week. Who would have thought it would all happen in a week? I'm really grateful.
In a week, bro.
Thank you, guys.
Crazy.
Yeah, bro.
We move fast here. We move fast here.
I love it.
All right, so guys, so just so you know, Maury, at the beginning of every podcast, we talk about the games that are coming out. But before we do that, we usually ask our guests, what games are you playing right now? So I'm going to extend that question to you, then Germ, then Heartless, and we're going to bring it back around to me. Let's go.
Okay. Okay, cool. Yeah, no, so I've streamed 7 days in a row. I tried playing a little bit of Assassin's Creed Liberation, which I've never played before on stream, I think 3 days back. So that was in the rotation, but it's mainly been Overwatch 2 because I found that getting into streaming, it's been a really great game to use so that I can make sure that I'm engaging with the audience and not getting too stuck in whatever I'm doing. But outside of streaming, I've been playing a lot of Stellar Blade. Currently on my second playthrough, IGN gave it a 7. I don't trust them. And yeah, I think it's great. I think it's at least an 8. So I've really enjoyed my time with Stellar Blade, and yeah, that's what I'm playing right now.
What's up? Germ, what about you?
Nice.
So, would you recommend Stellar Blade to a friend before we move on to me?
I think I would. Yeah, I would. Don't go in expecting like a 10, and I think you'll have a good time.
Recommend Stellar Blade to your grandma?
Absolutely not. No, afraid not. Nope.
Yeah, the game's fun. Those are the exclusives that consoles deserve. For me, I'm still on the Street Fighter grind. I have an announcement to make though. This week I've been playing Marissa still, but I've actually been messing around with Ryu a little bit. Shocker, guys!
Ain't no way.
Yeah, I've been labbing with Ryu. We'll see how that goes. See where that gets me. Tinky's gonna help me
Let's see how
out.
that goes.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
Tinky's gonna help me out. Well, I'll be up to. We're gonna be doubling up on the Ryu in this community. So, we'll see how that goes. Well,
There's a
but
few
yeah,
others. There's a few.
but I finished Final Fantasy VII, so there's a bunch of side content that I plan on doing, but I'm probably gonna take a little bit of a break from it. And I'm still playing a lot of Play the Spire. That's like I keep coming back to that game.
Okay. Heartless, what about you? Let me guess. Street Fighter?
You guys know what I play.
Shocker.
You guys know what I play. I'm getting ready for Evo. I got 2 months to become the best Street Fighter player in the world.
Let's go.
Let's
Yeah.
go, best jury in North
Try to figure
America.
it out.
Well,
2025 will be
trying,
that
trying.
will be that Chun climb.
I
mm,
got like 60, I think 60, 70 hours in the last 2 weeks. Let me check my Steam, actually. Let me actually check my Steam. It doesn't tell me in the last 2 weeks, does it?
I don't think it does. I think it just aggregates everything all at once.
It does. I'm at 1,482 hours on Street Fighter. I almost said Overwatch.
Oh wow.
What is your second place game, Harless? Can you see it there?
Are we talking all time?
Just second place, just in the last say 2
On
years.
Steam?
Yeah.
On Steam, it's going to be Guilty Gear. I hit like 300 hours on Guilty Gear.
Not
300,
Overwatch? What about
Out of
Overwatch?
disparity.
Okay, so but Overwatch, I have about maybe 1,200, 1,300 hours in Overwatch. Only on Ana, though. I only play Ana. If I play another character, it's because somebody stole Ana from me, and I'm not going to cuss them out over it. Although, I should.
Well, I haven't played any game this past week, outside of Street Fighter and Overwatch. But next week, I will be starting a big stream with Resident Evil 4 remake.
Let's go.
Yes, I'll be playing with the heart rate monitor and everything. If people are familiar with my
Okay.
streams, they know that I play every horror game with a heart rate monitor. So we'll be
Nice.
playing with a heart rate monitor and a death counter. So that should be
I-
pretty interesting this week.
Got a
Uh,
challenge for you, Maury. Since you're into the Stellar Blade, you should get that eye tracker thing for your next playthrough.
Dude.
Eye
Dude,
You'll
tracker?
get
Yeah.
views. You'll get those 10 viewers
So-
that you need.
Yeah, so your viewers
Yeah.
can see where you're putting your eyes at, and if you
Yeah.
keep
Yeah.
Wait,
yeah,
what?
you guys are
Cheeks.
This is a
sick.
Yeah,
thing?
but-
yeah,
so they have this eye tracker
trackers are a
thing.
thing, yes.
Yeah, and it'll show like this little circle where your eyes are focused on the screen, and a lot of
Yep.
people have been streaming these sexy games, and boom. What's funny is we do watch a lot of the female streamers, and they're playing like Baldur's Gate, and they're
Mm.
always just like their eyes are right on the dudes, all the time.
Nuts.
It's
Crazy.
funny.
All right. So yeah. So one of the let's talk about the games that released this week. So there's Homeworld. Shout outs to Reaper PC. Big fan of that franchise. Dread Delusion. Neptunia Game Maker. I don't know what that is. Braid Universe. Braid Anniversary
It's a
Edition.
classic platformer. Classic
No, I
platformer.
know Braid is a classic platformer. Paladins. Wait a minute. Baladins.
Paladin.
Baladins.
Not
My
confused.
bad.
Yeah, no.
My bad. Men of War 2, Mullet Mad Jack. What is that? I think that was what you were alluding to
Yeah,
earlier. All right, cool.
it has Doom Nukem vibes all over it. It's like a Doom Nukem knockoff.
Okay. I don't know how to pronounce this. Is this Toho Genso Wanderer? Am I saying that correctly?
Yeah, another. I think it's a Japanese style RPG.
Mm.
A lot of JRPGs releasing this week. Nothing really like.
Okay. Arcadia Colony. Lorelei with the laser eyes. Okay, cool. Ready Only Memories, Neurodiver, and Marvel Rival Alpha came out. And tomorrow is
tomorrow's
actually
the
the
last
last
day.
day of that,
Yeah.
but we'll talk more about that. Is anybody familiar with Homeworld 3?
I've watched some of it on Reaper's. I've lurked in Reaper's stream while he's been playing it the last couple weeks,
Mhm.
and it seems pretty cool. A lot of tactical like RPG elements. It reminds me a lot of StarCraft, but kind of less action.
Mhm.
So,
Mm.
All right, so let me
least
break it down for
recommended
you.
stuff.
So it's more like so how I look at it is like a Mass Effect RTS version. That's how I look at it because the story is pretty similar to Mass Effect. They discovered like warp gates and a bunch of other stuff, but it's created by Blackbird Interactive, I believe, and it's like I said, it's an RTS game. And one of the features that I think is pretty interesting is that yes, there's not real action. I think that you can set up like viewpoints to like really see the action play out, which is super dope. So it's more of like a player choice situation. Like you have a choice in how you want everything to lay out. And honestly, bro, the game is really not for me. It's not my cup of tea, but I know the game has a very strong community behind it because apparently people have been waiting for a long time for this game to drop. I believe Homeworld 2 dropped, I want to say 2016, if I believe. Please quote me on that if I'm wrong. Let me know. Well, yeah, it dropped on
I mean,
2016. Huh?
can I just say I'm noticing a trend here? It seems like RTS games are starting to become popular again. Does
Yeah,
anyone remember
It
like the
does seem
early mid
so. It
'90s
does
when
seem
yeah.
so.
Age of Empires and games like those were coming out, and
hmm
they were like the hottest thing, and it's really dropped off.
Look at Manalords, bro. Manalords broke records.
Yeah, it feels like RTS might be having a resurgence in today's
I'm not really into
PC gaming
RTS, to be
world
honest with you.
I'm
specifically.
not either. I don't know what it is, but I can't. It reminds
I
me of
need to be
Farmville.
immersed in the action that I'm doing. But you know what? I will say this though: card games, trading card games, truly are RTS games if you think about it.
hmm
Mm.
And
Yeah,
I'm into those. So
yeah, and like here's the second one here on the list, Men of War 2. It's like a tank RTS game, so it seems like they're starting to really take off. You know, and I was shouting out Unicorn Overlord a few weeks back. It's essentially a side scroller version of an RTS game. So um, it yeah, seems like that. I sense a resurgence here. I really really do.
You might be onto something, Jerem. You definitely
And
might be onto something.
um, one thing I also want to shout out too. I don't know if anyone's loaded up Netflix recently. Apparently Netflix has games now.
Oh
Like
no,
this
Yep.
it's
year,
it's been
it's
a
on
thing for a
Netflix.
while. They had it for mobile, but
Yeah.
now I think they have it on like your TV now. Apparently.
I actually think
yeah,
this is really really cool. This might kill the console industry having like a service like that where you can stream a game on. You know, think about that. Think
yeah,
about where
was
that
I
could
not
be in
saying
10
this a few
years.
weeks ago?
Yeah.
Imagine your TV is just capable of playing games on your Xbox account, and all you needed
But
to
that
do was just have
Xbox
a
was
controller.
already going down that path already because some TV, I
I
think it was
know,
Samsung.
but it's not mainstream. It's not mainstream though. No one like I'm sure to pull this off, you need to go through like hoops to make this happen. But like
Right.
imagine literally, it's like your TV. Like you know how your TV and you have the smart TV app and you download YouTube. You can download Netflix. You can download the Hulu's. Right? Imagine you just download your Xbox thing and you sign in your Xbox account. You have access to all your games.
Right.
Yeah, but
That'd be
I
dope.
It's
really like
playable.
the idea of having a subscription service that I already pay for, having something else to justify that subscription with. And to be honest, I think we've all been questioning if Netflix is worth it lately, right? So,
Yes.
Mhm.
it
Yeah.
kind of feels like this could get them back in that, bring value back to them. So,
To
yeah.
be honest with you guys, the the amount of TV I watch, the Netflix subscription is kind of worth it to me. Like I can always find something to put on for an hour a day. Like,
Let's say
so
that's the
what?
thing,
How
but
much
it's
is
really
Netflix?
expensive for that 1 hour a day now. You know what I'm
How much
saying?
is Netflix?
It's like $27 or something like that a month, or maybe more.
$27 for
Yeah,
Netflix?
Yeah, something
but
like
yeah,
that.
but I get it for every TV in my house though. So it's
Yeah.
like you pay $27. My mom
Do
loving the
you?
Netflix. My brother loving the Netflix.
Well,
Yeah.
my one issue with Netflix though is this always pisses me off is they have a series of something or like a bunch of movies of one trilogy or something, and there's always one piece missing or one season of a show missing. You know, that always pisses
No,
me
the
off.
thing that kills
You
me
know?
is when they cancel shows.
Yeah, they
So
cancel
I'm from
shows.
the
They're very
colony. I like the
notorious for that.
colony. I like the colony, and they canceled that. I got invested into it, and then as soon as I got into the last thing available, I went and looked it up when the next season was dropping. They're like, "Nah, that shit canceled."
Yeah,
Mhm.
what pisses me off is you like okay, my wife likes Young Sheldon. That's like her show right now. And all the
Mm.
seasons, now granted the new season is airing now, but it sucks that I can't just watch it all at once. I have to wait, like that, because it's probably be like a year before that season comes to Netflix, you know. So
Yeah.
I find that really irritating. My Netflix. I wish they would stop that behavior.
I was going to say, I think they just dropped the finale for Young Sheldon this past week. This is something, but you guys were kind of saying something that intrigued me, and that was like about the possibility of just your game's like library being on a screen eventually. I don't. I wonder how likely that's going to be. The conversations I keep hearing from like very young people, like young kids, Like they only play Fortnite. Like they only play Apex. Like I wonder if we're the last generation of people that want to play more than like one game every single day. So I wonder how applicable that.
I'm one of those people.
Yeah.
I'm one of those
I like
people.
the
I like to.
idea too of putting the classic games like Braid here, for example, in
Mhm.
the hands of maybe generation and may not know about it or may never have heard about it. It gives if you're putting a
That's it.
game, you're
But do
putting
they
Yep.
care?
yeah. So I like
Yeah.
that idea of it. You
But do
know,
they
like
care? That's the question. Do they
well,
care?
the fire all they need to do is click on it, you know, and give it a shot, and this at least is their window into that, you know. So. Isn't that what most of us do with Netflix? We wait for a suggestion to pop up, and then we're like, "Oh, that looks cool. I'll watch this." And we give it maybe an episode,
Pretty
20
much.
minutes,
Pretty
you
much.
know. And if it grabs us, we keep going, you know.
All right.
But
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
All right. So Marvel Rivals. The game's about the closed beta is about to end, or the alpha rather is about to end tomorrow. I know a lot of people didn't get to play. Me, unfortunately, didn't get to play. So fuck this game.
I know you're
But
heated about
I
that.
wanted to know what you guys' thoughts were about this game.
go
A
ahead,
lot of
Maury.
people are
Go ahead.
comparing it to Overwatch, but with like destructible environments. Like, what are your thoughts about that, guys?
Yeah, yeah, no, I mean, I'm in the same boat as Cash. I'm just bitter because I didn't get to play it because I don't have a PC. I'm a console guy,
Mm.
so I didn't even get to see it. I wish I was playing it right now. The one thing, if I'm jumping the gun, let me know, Cash. But the one thing that I saw about it was just that they had a ban on players talking about
Oh
um,
yeah, that's definitely yes.
the
That you
game.
could definitely talk
Yeah,
about that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's one of our
yeah,
topics for today. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and that was
We
kind of
can actually touch on that right
funny.
now. What are your thoughts about that situation? Because I think that was kind of stupid on their part.
No, that's the thing, because like that's as someone who didn't get to play it, I wish I had something positive to say about the game. Like I could tell you that like it might be an Overwatch competitor or something like that, but I can't speak to that because I've not played it. But
Real
you
quick
know,
though, just to provide a little context for our listeners. So with Marvel Rivals, in the terms of service, it had a
Non-disclosure
disparaging,
agreement,
not yeah.
non-dispersion
We don't
clause.
talk bad
Sorry,
about the game
Non-disparaging.
clause in their
non-disparaging
term
clause.
of
Sorry.
service. Yeah, and it's saying basically if you play the game, if we allow you in the alpha, you can talk about the game and don't say anything negative about it. And um, since then, they have come back and apologized for that and removed that from their terms of service. So they went back on it, but the fact that it was even there in the first place is really
Is an
bad.
issue.
Really
That's
bad.
an issue. That's a big issue.
All right, sorry, Mark.
yeah,
Big issue.
I just wanted to provide some context.
I appreciate it. And yeah, no, and that's the thing. I just it's just a terrible look. Something that Germ was saying before we hopped onto the show was just how disconnected some of these developers are from fans, from players. And something that I was mentioning was just I don't think that this is solely bad for the player. It's not just bad for the person playing the alpha who wants to share their opinions of the game, whether they liked it or disliked it or whatever. It's bad for the developer because they're receiving no honest feedback from the community that's playing the game. And I think that something I said earlier was just that you look at any game that started rough or had some issues, the way that those games got to a place where they were not only playable but enjoyable, like for example, Fallout 76,
So good.
it's all just rooted in community feedback. It's all rooted in listening to what players want because typically the players know better than you do because they're the customer. So I don't know. It's a bad look for the developer, and it makes me a little fearful for Marvel Rivals and where it's going to go as a game. I just don't know.
Right.
Well, my take on that is I find it insulting as a consumer that they feel like they would need to do this in the first place. I understand that they're maybe trying to protect themselves from salty Overwatch fans, which it seems like there's a lot of them out there right now. But um, regardless, I find it insulting they wouldn't think us as a consumer to be able to spot that if someone's just being a hater. You
No,
know what I'm
overall, I
saying?
think it
Yeah.
hurts the integrity of the game. Number one. Number two,
Yeah.
if someone's gonna shit on the game, they're gonna shit on the game. You can't stop it. There's no
Nope.
way for you to stop it. They can
And
make anonymous accounts and they can still say whatever they want.
yeah, and from
So
the
that's
world
not
of
stopping
content
anybody.
creation and free press, this basically it fights the idea of free press. Now, granted, content creators are not press,
Mhm.
but they are. You know, they do report on their feelings and they do report facts and they do, you know, they essentially they're just outside of the official press. You know, and
No, no, the thing
this
is,
essentially destroys that. You know,
Mhm.
it
the
really
thing is
does.
with influencers now is that a lot of companies because of they see the influence and whatever, they're more likely to go to an influencer. So that's the issue that we're kind of coming, because they kind of like have that trust. They have an audience, and a lot of times if they say something positive about a certain product, their audience are going to take that up. So now that's the issue. That's where the big problem comes from.
And I think of this is why they made a Marvel game in the first place. This IP is going to carry. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying?
Mhm.
Like, people are going to want to play this just because they love Rocket Raccoon. Like, that's going to be the draw, even if the game's bad, But that'll bring them back.
I like the
And
art
granted,
style. I know a lot
it
of
may
people
not
don't
be.
like it, but I do like the art style.
I'm really digging the art style. It's very unique for a Marvel property. There aren't a lot of Marvel stuff that looks like this outside of the comics. So I think it's really cool.
Hmm.
What do you think, Carlos?
I think the game looks cool, but honestly, I to have a non-disparaging thing, I sense a lot of arrogance there. To think that your IP will carry, and that you're not gonna need the opinions of the community, and that you got this
Mhm.
all figured out, and you don't want to hear what anyone got to say. I kind of don't like that.
I don't
like that at
think.
all.
I think the opposite.
Uh,
I don't think that's what this is. You said you sense arrogance. I sense fear. I think they don't believe in their product.
Oh, yeah, they're afraid of salty Overwatch fans. I said it. I think they think that Overwatch fanboys are just gonna smear the game for no good reason. Granted, they might. But as I said,
Sep-
us as consumers should will
mhm.
be able to spot that if they're just being a hater,
Yeah. Separate and apart from that, I heard Black Panther is the worst character in the game. But carry on, Jerem.
Yeah. That's
crazy.
my whole take on
That's
this.
that's
Like,
racism.
Yeah, I knew you were. I'm waiting. Yo, I was waiting. I was waiting.
See, there's something else. Something else I want to say is like I'm not sure because you guys talked about the fear that I'm sure the developers feeling. I mean, you have to remember where NetEase comes from. If I'm not mistaken, this is their first like triple A PC/console game. I was pretty sure they were in the mobile space before this. So I'm sure in some way going into this, they're like, oh, what if we can't do it? Like, can we really make an Overwatch competitor? So I'm sure just as much as they're afraid of bitter Overwatch fans, I'm also sure that there's just a little bit of nervousness going in because this is their first venture into this kind of game. So I definitely think they're coming from a place of fear. It has to be.
let's
Has
look
to be.
They
at
worked on
NetEase's
Naraka.
portfolio.
That's one of their games.
Um,
Naraka is one of their games, but a lot of people are fearful of NetEase because it could go either way with them, and that's the problem.
okay. NetEase, they're known for the Naraka series. Apparently,
Hmm.
they've worked well on that. Yeah, a lot of mobile games, Marvel Super War.
Oh, so they have a relationship with Marvel in the past, then.
Yeah,
Hmm.
they worked on some kind of Viking game. A lot of gotcha games here.
Yep.
Uh,
Yep.
Live service gotcha style games. Yeah, but Naraka is probably their biggest one. And then they did some work on Dead by Daylight Mobile. So those are like their two biggest credits right there.
Hmm.
Yeah, so this is like, yeah, probably their first real big stamp on console or major AAA gaming. So
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I
It
like
looks like
again.
they're a
I'm
little
impressed
nervous.
by the game, and I like the outfit. The skins look crazy.
And yeah, like Maury said, it just really shows a strong disconnect between lawyerly type people and understanding what gaming culture is all about. Because
Yep.
they know we're gonna find this stuff. They should know. You can't hide. You can't hide anything from today's world of gamers. The internet's out there. You
The
know,
internet's the
these people are
internet, bro.
smart. They know what's up, and you're not gonna be able to
I
hide
gotta say,
anything.
Go ahead,
I'm
Alex.
gonna learn a character in
Go
this
ahead.
game. I'm gonna learn a character in this game.
Who,
I
Spider-Man?
will. I'm gonna put the effort. I don't know, somebody. I'm gonna put the effort. I'm gonna learn a character before I have a fully fleshed out opinion.
I don't know
Obviously,
who my
but I
character
do
is
like
yet. That's also
Overwatch.
another problem for me personally.
I don't
I
know
want
either. I'll look
I
into
want my
it when I
character
have
to
access to the game.
I want my character to be Spider-Man, but I've read some stuff on him and the character specifically, and like reviews and stuff on different platforms. Apparently, he's a 5-star hero, which is the top difficulty. And I'm like,
Hmm.
whoa, that's kind of an odd
So that's
choice.
gonna make me really want to play him.
Yeah, that's an odd choice to make the most popular Marvel hero the most difficult to
No, it
use.
makes
But hey,
sense because he's swinging. You have to think about it. He's swinging.
Exactly.
I understand,
Exactly.
but Spider-Man,
He's
it's
wall
Spider-Man though.
running, swinging.
And he
He's
shoots.
doing
And he shoots.
flipping. Yeah, he's doing a bunch of stuff, bro. Like I can understand why
He's
he's
a
a
swinging
5-star hero.
shooter.
Yeah,
And he pulls people in and he like wraps them up.
yeah. He has a lot of
See,
mechanics in his kit, bro. A
It-
lot.
From
Exactly.
what the videos I've seen, it looks like he plays almost exactly like he does in the Spider-Man games. Like,
Yeah, that's what
it
most
looks
people say. For
almost
the most part,
exactly.
that's how he plays. She reminds
Yeah.
me of Diva so much.
Yeah.
Oh, Penny.
Yeah.
Penny
Yeah,
Parker,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
How does she fit
She's
in
cool.
that suit? She looks
Mhm.
so. Look at the woman and then look at the suit. I
And
don't
I
see
hear
how she.
Star Lord is actually pretty good. I think he's 1 star. So he's 2 star.
Apparently,
Punisher
yeah,
is
he's
one
like a
star.
Reaper. Apparently, he's like a
Yeah.
Star
Reaper
Lord is the guy
Tracer
from the Guardians of the
character.
Galaxy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Apparently, he's like a
I
Reaper
did
and
not know his
Tracer
name was
character
Star Lord.
together.
Huh? Say that again, Heartless?
I did not know that he was Star Lord.
Yeah, that's Star Lord.
I
Yeah,
just
they
put
all
it
look
together.
really
I
different.
just put it together.
Yeah, they look
Yeah,
really
like
cool. Namor looks dope too. He looks like a valley boy, though, a beach boy.
And I'm feeling Magneto
Beach
too. I
bum
like how
Namor.
he's
dude, Magneto, bro. When this game comes to console, I promise you, I'll be playing 10 hours a day of Magneto solely. Give it to
yeah.
me. Ah, man.
What's his kit like?
I have no idea.
He looks.
I'm
I
not.
like how he looks old. He's got like the old man beard
Bro,
and
all the
stuff.
Yeah.
characters just look super clean. They look dope as
Yeah.
hell, bro. So
Great
yeah.
art
Honest,
design.
I mean, Overwatch, those characters look good too, but
Oh
I
no,
don't know.
for
These
sure.
ones look
Overwatch
just as
characters look
good,
dope for
you
sure.
know? But the only my critique I would have is they don't look necessarily well like clean, and what I mean by clean is like clean silhouettes. There's just a lot going on when you look at them. You know what I mean?
Mm.
For
So
who? What are you talking about
um,
in terms of what?
there was like, okay, so if you like, can you pull up a photo of Magneto, Cash, if you can?
On you
Um,
mean for the Marvel game?
yeah, the Marvel game. So if you
You're
pull up
saying
a
they
photo of
don't have a clean
Magneto,
silhouette?
yeah, like, while he looks cool, there's
Hmm.
just a lot for your eyes to take in. You know what I mean? It just it
But I think that's
there's
also because with Overwatch, I think if not you, I think Heartless brought it up the other day. It's the characters are so like dope looking. Like you don't even get to see the characters in Overwatch, but you will get to see them in this.
yeah, and plus it's third person.
Yeah,
And I
it's third
said that
person, so you're
before. I
gonna see
like
your characters.
how I like that.
Yeah. Have you guys ever seen Overwatch on its highest settings?
No,
No.
I don't know. I don't think
Got it.
so. I haven't played
When you guys get a
Overwatch in
chance, if you
years.
guys ever get a chance to see that, just check it out. It's pretty cool. Overwatch at its highest settings on like a super crazy screen is a sight to behold.
no soul. Welcome to the podcast.
Well, what I mean is like a less is more kind of thing. It's hard to describe. Like think of like a car that's got like a nice clean paint job versus a car that's got like all sorts of like decals all over it. Like they both look dope, but the one that's got just the clean paint job, it's just got that nice silhouette and it's just eye catchy. You know what I mean? I think that's what Overwatch versus Marvel Rivals is doing here.
Mm.
The Marvel Rivals characters just have a lot to them when you look at them. A lot of sharp lines, a lot of shading, you know. And
Yeah, I think, but I think that's what they're going for. The hyper stylistic. They want it to almost look like the comic book come to life. That's mine.
it's
This is
it's
mine.
a stylistic choice for
Mhm.
sure. It's just a lot to look at, you know. And I could see that being a little muddy during the gameplay. Like just say the Punisher and Magneto
Right.
are or something like that. Like if they run by you, you may not recognize them right away. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
So, and
But
it's gonna be releasing multi-platform when it drops. That's
That's
what I
awesome.
heard.
That's
That's
good.
great news.
That's
Right.
awesome.
Good.
So speaking of multi-platform, see what I did there?
Ooh.
Square Enix is
Ooh,
going
yeah.
aggressively into
Look at
multi-platform.
Cash, he's being a pro with these segues. There
Dude,
you
that was
go.
a flawless
That was a
segue.
pro
My
move right
God.
there.
Yeah, so they're looking to aggressively tackle multi-platforming after the, I guess you could say, failure or the underperformance of I think their 2 last games underperformed, which was Forspoken was one of them, and Final Fantasy is also underperformed, if I'm not
Um,
mistaken.
Overall, 16 and
Mm-hmm.
7 remake or rebirth,
Mm-hmm.
they've underperformed.
They've all
And I
underperformed.
hate to say that because they sold a lot, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, there's too much. They were just too expensive. You
I
know
think
what I
that's what
mean?
it is. It's again, it goes back to what we've been saying since this podcast began, bro. Like they're dumping way too much money in these games and they're not getting that return that they were expecting.
Mhm.
But
There was a
Yep.
take.
Maury, what are your
Console
thoughts? I
exclusive.
want to hear what you have to say about this whole situation.
Yeah, I mean, I just think the industry at large is moving away from console exclusivity outside of Nintendo more than anyone, but also I'd say outside of Sony. I think Sony's going to keep their stuff close to the chest, but I think that when you're talking about these third-party big budget studios, I just
Mhm.
don't know how much room there is with how much games cost now for them to go and make a deal with someone like Sony or Microsoft to make their games exclusive. In regards to the Final Fantasy games, while this absolutely is not the predominant reason for them selling a lower amount of copies than they would have liked. I think that they've been a little stacked on top of each other. You
Mhm.
can tell me if I'm wrong, but Final Fantasy 16 released in June of last year, and then Rebirth was February. Hearing some Final Fantasy fans, because I went and watched some YouTube videos this week from Final Fantasy fans talking about this, they
Mhm.
just kind of talked about how Final Fantasy games don't feel so much like an event anymore because it feels like there's at least one coming out every year. And when you have two huge titles like 16 and 7 Rebirth coming out back to back, I just don't know that you've given them enough room to breathe. That's obviously not why we're in the position that we're in. It is because they're not multi-platform, but I think it's just the way that the industry is moving. I mean, it's what Xbox is doing with their first-party studios. That was something that came out this week that the red tape is being removed, and that now any title of theirs in their first party could come to PlayStation any day. So I just think the industry, with how expensive games are to make now, I just don't know how much room there is for console exclusivity anymore. So
Mhm.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
and
I'm
that's something
excited.
Germ have been echoing as well. He's been echoing that for a long time. It's one of the reasons that games might be cannibalizing itself, and I think this one is probably one of the examples as well.
Yeah, I echo what you were saying there, more. I think just in general, and games in general, just look at earlier. We had 11 games that came out this week.
Mhm.
Man.
Granted, they're nothing special games, at least that not that jumped out at us, but
Mhm.
that's a lot of games coming out all at one time. Just this year, how many weeks have we done this podcast? 13 weeks, and each week we've had like what, 8 to 10 releases per
Releases
week.
for the week. Yep.
That's a lot of games to play at any given time.
Mhm.
And I
Yep.
feel like
Yeah.
the industry is cannibalizing itself because there's just people have to decide what they're going to play. And a lot of times they're just going to play what they're already invested in. Things like
Mhm. And there's not
Fortnite,
enough
Call of
money to go
Duty,
around.
etc.
You got to think about
Yeah.
that as
So,
well.
um,
That's a reality. It's not enough money
yeah.
to go around. People are broke. People are broke. So yeah.
Mhm. And we have to understand where gaming sits in the hierarchy of life. It's
Mhm.
probably the least essential. Granted, it's a great pastime, but it's probably the least. A person's got to eat. A person's got to pay for electricity. A person needs their
Yep.
phone. A person needs,
Right.
their car. It's probably the bottom of like the necessities that you can reasonably afford. Um,
I actually love that the new Final Fantasy is more action oriented because I never could get into the games, bro. Like
um,
I hate the whole turn based strategy
okay,
situation. I
so
think
to
there's
put
some
something
elements of this still here, but for the most part, it's more action
put it in a
RPG.
little bit of perspective, the last two Final Fantasy
Yeah, the
games.
last
Final
two.
Fantasy
Yeah, yeah.
16 released 202.7 million copies,
Mm-hmm.
and where Final Fantasy Rebirth is currently sitting right around 3 million. That is
Hmm.
not a lot. I bet you Sony was expecting that to be close to 10 million, or at
Yeah.
least
Oh
7.
yeah.
They
Oh
were
yeah.
probably expecting that to be double that number. So,
Oh, no
And I
souls
um,
think
going
I
off
think
in the
they made a
chat.
bad
Heartless,
move.
you saw what no soul said?
yeah.
Yeah, I'm reading it right now. That's what I'm reading.
Oh, okay.
And uh put that into a little bit of context. What is it? Tekken 8 in the first month sold 2 million copies. Street Fighter 6 in the first 6 months sold 3 million copies.
Hmm.
And
That's
a
dope.
game like GTA 6 has sold 200 million copies. So it's like, or sorry,
How
GTA
GTA
5
5.
has
how
sold
old is
200
GTA
million
5? Please, please,
copies. Sorry. Um,
please tell me.
it's just like, yeah, I think the game under and Spider-Man 2 has sold 10 million. So it's like,
Yeah, and
yeah,
then
Spider-Man
and
Spider-Man
that's
gets
is.
breaking even. That's barely breaking even. That's the insane
well,
part for Spider-Man.
oh, and another one, Foam Stars, which is a Square Enix game. Apparently, it's actually one of the lowest rated games so far this year. So that game is
Oh,
not doing
really?
well. Yeah,
Oh yeah.
it was available for free on PSN a couple
Yeah, I
months
know that.
ago, and I
I
still have
did.
not
I
even
didn't
tried
even try to get it.
it. Yeah, it's one of the
Yeah.
lowest rated.
That's
It's the
sad.
bottom 5 rated games so far this year. The game
One of the
flopped.
issues they were saying it's a fake Splatoon.
Yeah. Yep. There's no, and to be honest, like the players that play Splatoon
Hmm.
are kids, and they're not going to use a PlayStation 5 to play Splatoon. I'm sorry, that was a total misstep. You know?
Yeah,
I think
That's
that's what
like
they were trying to
Oh, yeah.
capitalize on the Nintendo market for sure with that one,
Yeah.
but that's not it.
Is- Yeah, and if the people that play Nintendo games, they're loyal. They're loyal.
Hmm.
They ain't switching. They're the most loyal fanboys on earth.
Bro,
So
remember,
another report here saying as of March 31st of 2024, in the quarter-day sales, their profits have fallen 70%,
damn,
estimated to fall in 70% of projections.
Jeez.
damn, bro. So what
So
they're
that
about to do is considered more of like a company-wide reboot, is what because that's what they said in their earnings call recently. It's more of like a reboot, and they're trying to just like come back to the table and figure out what they can do to make the company profitable again.
Yeah, here's a little bit from that call.
Hmm.
So, their operating income is 32.5 billion, and they brought in $208 million.
Hmm.
So that's not that's gonna bankrupt your company if you bring in money like that.
Yep.
Yeah, so profit attributed
And
to
you're
owners of
spending that
parents.
much
So
to make
out
games.
of so 15 billion. So and they brought in 96.2 million. That's down 69.7% from last year.
Gosh.
Yeah, that's gonna bankrupt you quick. Yeah, that means you
Yeah.
have no money to cover even the most
Yeah. So,
basic costs.
yo, and I'm pretty sure PlayStation's like, listen, we can work something out. It's like, no, fuck you. We need more money. We're
Yeah.
going multi-platform.
See, and this is my
You know what we might be seeing? We might be seeing more Final Fantasy, guest appearances like in Call of Duty, in
oh,
Apex,
that's
and
crazy.
all these different
This man
games. We're
said
gonna
Final
see
Fantasy characters in Call of Duty is wild to me
That's
Final
right now,
Fantasy
bro.
crazy.
properties are gonna be everywhere. you know.
You think they're just gonna
Um,
license out their property?
in case if anyone wants to read the article, here's the game industry
Game Industry Biz
article.
is
That's
one of
the
my favorite
breakdown of everything I
websites to look at when it comes to stuff like that. So go check it out, guys.
told you. Yeah, so this is not good. Square Enix is one of the OGs of game development, so it's
Bro,
sad that they're
Square Enix
struggling.
has been around even in SNES days. I remember that, bro, because
Yeah,
Final
they've been
Fantasy has been
around.
around since then.
Was it Final
Secret of
Fantasy
Mana. They
One?
made Secret of Mana too. What am I talking about? So yeah,
You-
they made a lot of my
There is
games
something.
from back in the day.
There is something good to take from this, Cash, because it says they're being aggressive.
Hmm.
There's a good chance that we might see a Chrono Trigger remake or at
I
least
would
a
love to
port.
see that. Or
I know you love that series,
what?
so
I would love for them to do that, bro. One
this
thing
is
I'm
probably as
looking
close
forward to
as
as
we're
well
gonna
is
get.
probably them bringing the Final Fantasy remake and Final Fantasy Rebirth on Xbox as well. Which it seems as if it's now possible.
What do you think, Heartless? Now that these games are going to be coming to PC, are you going to pick them up?
I think it was gonna always go
Um,
on the PC, to be honest.
I mean, yeah, there's a lot of games on my radar. If I had just tons of money and tons of time to play games, I'd play a lot of games. Of course, I'm focused now on one game, but there's a lot of games I like to get my hands on, like even like games like Stellar Blade and stuff like that. Just like trying to keep up with the times. I'd like to get the new Final Fantasies and play that as well. I think multi-platform is the way to go in general. Like games are getting so expensive to make,
This generation,
so
yeah.
hard to make. This generation of games, the technology they're using, it's nothing is cheap. The services, everything, and to keep a game on PlayStation, I can totally see why Square Enix at this point is like, yo, we need to branch out and be everywhere. And
Exactly.
from like just a straight up business perspective, it's like why would you ever sign away your right to sell to sell your product in a certain place? Like
Mhm.
if you were selling a product, would you want to only be in convenience stores but not in supermarkets? No, you'd want to be in both. That's just simple to me.
Yeah, call it
I
kneecapping.
agree.
See, sorry guys, I'm sorry. There's something else that I keep thinking about, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, if I'm not on the money. Is that like I don't know that PlayStation has done a good job with the IP. I'm going to explain what I mean. When Rebirth launched this year in February, 2 weeks before that, Helldivers 2 launched.
Hmm.
If I'm not mistaken, 2 weeks after that, Rise of the Ronin launched. and if I'm not mistaken, like a month after that, Stellar Blade launched. I feel like the scheduling department inside of Sony could have probably spaced this out a little better, considering they themselves have announced that they're not going to have any big
Yeah, for the
first
rest of the
party
year.
exclusives for the rest of
Yeah,
the year.
makes
So it's
sense.
like,
Totally.
Yeah,
why would you crowd it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Hamza, what we were saying, games are coming out too fast, and especially Final Fantasy. That is easily a 200 hour investment. So you're not going to have enough time to play the game, but in addition to having a job and having a family, by the time the next game comes out, there's just no way, no
Mhm.
way to fully enjoy it anyway.
Yeah,
So
like why would you front load so many games at the beginning of the year and then don't have anything to show at the end of the year? It doesn't make sense.
Yep, yep,
That's a
and
huge
and
that's my
factor.
thing.
yeah, and I Reaper kind of hinted on it last week, where he feels like there's going to be a big change in the industry, and I echo his sentiment. I think the industry has go to this point where they want to make beautiful games, and
Mhm.
Heartless has said this in the past too, where they want to make beautiful games, but it's too expensive. So games are gonna have to go pull it back and just be less of these theatrical experiences and be more affordable to make. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Hmm.
To stay healthy, because yeah, people can't. I know I've said in the past people should be paying more. People should be paying more for this level of content, but the industry can't bear it. So people aren't willing to pay those prices. So you have to pull it back. You can't do this, you know, with the current
See,
regime. So
and that's interesting, Jerm, because I actually don't know if I fully agree. Like, I think that when you look at something like Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, I think if you look at something like God of War Ragnarok, right, these big AAA, big budget titles, I actually do believe that with the fan base that some of these games have, I think you could get away with a $10 upcharge, maybe even a 20. Hey, this game, God of
oh
War
man,
3,
Oh
you know,
God.
if they make it,
Oh
Heartless is gonna
God.
like,
go off on you.
No, no
oh, I'm
way.
excited.
Ain't no way. Ain't no way did I just hear what I thought I just heard. Are you I'm
Crash,
having a
make
Oh
sure you
meltdown, guys.
bring
no.
this guy
I'm having
back.
a
Make sure
meltdown,
you
guys.
bring this
Hold
guy
on, hold on,
back.
hold
I
on,
have
hold
an
on.
ally.
Hold on. You and Jerem can just go start writing checks and sending them to developers at this point.
Right?
I can't listen. Keep games $60. Sell it everywhere. I don't care. Make your IPs available, action figures, make trading cards. I don't care what you do, make clothing. I don't care what you do. Make your money, but don't upcharge me for the damn game, please.
Hey,
Especially
hey,
with
you
this
heard it
whole
here first.
EA situation that we're gonna have to spend $70 on game
I'm
and
not.
get ad run in
That's
our
a
game.
can of worms. I don't want to open today. But the you know, it just it's a delicate situation, and I find firmly that it's going to be pulled back. We're going to see more sort of you know, this is if Final Fantasy Rebirth is a AAA game, we're gonna see like single A games. We're gonna see more games like that are more focused on quality, like Pal World, quality of gameplay and less graphical quality. You know what I'm saying? So, and that'll be affordable. Helldivers is a good example. You know, um,
They need to games need to study Fortnite. Games. How does a game sell for $0 yet make so much money?
Right?
Um,
that's why it's
and
on my Mount
like
Rushmore, like I mentioned earlier. Like it's just the
they
model of
need to
gaming, the
study
business model.
they need to study how to do that because games need to go in that direction. And I understand like AAA RPG games kind of can't go in that direction because there's no multiplayer aspect. But those kind of games, if you can't go in that direction, then you certainly cannot afford to be a console exclusive. Like, what is the benefit to the game developer for being a console exclusive? I don't get it.
I don't get
Mm.
it
Like, they
either.
get
It
paid
doesn't
by
make sense
Sony.
to me.
Unless they get paid up front. If they
What?
get paid up front, then I can see how that makes sense. But if that's not the case, then I don't know, bro. I don't know.
Let's do a little bit of an
That makes no
analysis
sense.
for a moment.
I'm sorry. Can I explain my feeling on
Yes,
this?
go ahead. Go.
That makes no sense to me. How much if I'm Sony, I would have to pay you your entire profits
No,
that
so
you
it might be some
generate
residual
from
situation there.
selling. No, but no. Okay, but either way,
Mhm.
if I'm the game developer and you're telling me that I have to be a console exclusive, you would have to pay me as much money as I could get from selling it on other consoles. And if I'm Sony, I would have to pay you all of the profits that you would make by selling on Xbox to keep you off of Xbox. a console exclusive relationship just does not make sense to me. So
In the
can
case
somebody
of
There might
Final
be
explain
another
why?
Fantasy,
promise on top of that to keep them
in the
there.
case of
I feel
Final
like
Fantasy specifically, it's been a PlayStation or Sony exclusive for so
for years.
long
Yeah.
that people that own Xboxes may not buy the game at all.
See, and
May
I was
not. It could go either way, you know. But
That's
for
been a
me,
conversation before as well
yeah,
because the last few Final Fantasy games that went to Xbox didn't really sell that well.
yeah. Here's an
Yep,
example,
yep.
like Halo. Like I've always been interested in Halo, but I know if Halo became available to me as a PlayStation gamer, I probably wouldn't buy it because I would feel so behind. I wouldn't it would be such a huge investment for me to get caught up that it would just be too daunting
You
and I
would
wouldn't do it.
definitely buy the Master Chief Collection for $10 like I did.
You know. Maybe,
Not
yeah.
only that,
But
guys,
if they do that,
here's the
that's
other
it.
element to this as well. Maybe PlayStation has been putting money into Square Enix as well in terms of like to develop the game, and that's also
I
where
can
that would
answer
come
that
from as well.
question directly.
Huh?
The we studied that in my school about different companies about how like what the difference between developers and publishers are.
Mhm.
So Sony has been a publisher, has had a financial stake in Square Enix for a long time. There's actually a story that we studied before Final Fantasy X came out. Square Enix was about to go bankrupt, and Sony came in and kind of helped bring them back to life by investing in them. And 10 was a hit, and then and they built they continued the relationship, long-standing relationship that they already had, and it feels like that has eroded. The fact that they want to step away from Sony so much,
Mhm.
like okay, the business is this company is about ready to probably close its doors if it doesn't turn around quick within the next couple
Mm.
years,
Yep, which is why
and
they
that would be
probably
So
come
sad.
out
We
with
can't
this
have that.
strategy.
I
Yeah,
can't have that.
yeah.
and
This is one of the this is Square Enix is as important to the gaming industry as Nintendo is. They've been in it as long as Capcom's been in it. They're one of the companies that's one of the most respected, and we all have memories from games that they've made. I would hate to
mm,
see them go away. I really would.
Hmm.
yeah, that'd
um,
be a huge loss. Huge
we
loss for the
talked about a
industry.
lot of closing of studios and stuff on these podcasts. This would be the one that would break my heart. Like if Square
Mm.
Enix ended up closing its door or getting bought out by someone, that would close my heart. It would. It
I
would
got
break my
Final
heart.
Fantasy
It
trading
really would.
cards. I can't afford. I'm a collector. I
Mm.
can't afford for Square Enix to close its doors.
Yeah, and there's one company. There's one thing I want to point out too is one game that I think has kind of set the gaming industry on this path of like these high graphical quality of games. I'm gonna say Metal Gear 4. If anyone remembers when Metal Gear 4 came out, it had all those cinematic graphics and all those long cutscenes and stuff.
Hmm.
That game put us on that path that we're on now, and it's
Mm.
just too expensive now. And
Yep.
it probably was now. It's just not sustainable, and you're gonna see it's you're gonna see a pullback. I'm willing to bet. I'm really willing
Yeah,
to bet.
I like that connection. I've never even
Yeah.
thought about the fact that it probably was Metal Gear Solid
Yeah.
4.
It was so far ahead of its time at the time. So
It,
Hmm.
yeah, that game. I went back and played it like a couple months back, and I didn't beat it, but I was so impressed by the graphical, the way it looked. But nevertheless, there was something I wanted to say about the multi-platform approach, and I know we've been on Square Enix for a little bit, and I apologize. I know that I've kind of kept this going around and around. I keep yapping about it, but
Not
there's
good.
one more thing that sticks out to me about it. And that's that, like, when I think about their decision to go multi-platform, I wonder why they chose to ever do like Sony exclusives to begin with. And I guess this is my thing. I wonder if they're really going to see the increase in sales that they think they're going to. And I'll explain what I mean. Do you think that Final Fantasy VII Rebirth could realistically run on a Switch? I don't.
oh
I don't
no,
Oh,
think that this.
definitely not.
definitely not.
Right.
Definitely not.
So
You
so
saw
that
Mortal
means
Kombat?
yes, bro, it looked abysmal. I mean, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I think if
Hmm.
that's so, you can't get a sale on Switch.
Hmm.
Xbox players have been taught to not buy games. So at
Hmm.
this point, I guess my question is, what untapped market do you think is out there? PC? I bet you could have gotten a deal with Sony where they would still pay you to just put it on
To echo
PC.
what you're saying, Maury, is I would also question if this game's also streamable. I mean, granted, you probably could stream it,
Mm,
but at what at what quality. It
Yeah.
might be a little
Oh, so
laggy,
you think
you
you could
know.
stream it
So
from thing like they did with
yeah,
Witcher on Switch?
I don't know. It's hard to say, but uh, I have, this game takes up 132 gigabytes of my PlayStation
Jesus,
5
good
hard
lord.
drive. So,
Damn.
like, would you be able to stream something like that? What if the game crashes? Do you lose everything? You know,
Mm.
I don't know. Those are tough questions. I don't know.
Oh,
I could understand streaming a platformer because they're not very demanding, but not. I don't know about this.
mm,
Right. And that's my thing. I wonder, where is this untapped market that they're looking for, and does it exist? Obviously PC, but I don't think that that was something Sony wouldn't have been open to. Clearly not,
You
because they
know,
put
my
Helldivers
thing,
on PC.
I directly also blame
my
Sony, 100%. Real quick, Heartless,
Yeah.
because they greenlit these expensive projects and essentially put Square Enix on the chopping block. Shame on Sony. You know,
Mm.
like they should
Mm.
not have greenlit these products or even asked for them in the first place. you
mm.
know. But anyway, sorry, Heartless.
Heartless.
no, it's cool. My take on it though is I don't think companies make decisions like this because they care to affect themselves in the short term. I think they make decisions like this because they look 10, 15 years in the future. Their goal, they want to get their game on they want to go multi-platform. Why? Because they're not getting ready for now. They're not getting ready for the Switch. They're getting ready for the Switch 3XL, whatever the hell it is in the
Mm.
future. They're
Mm-hmm.
getting ready so that their name is a household name on Microsoft. They're going to release smaller titles on the Nintendo Switch, the less technologically demanding titles on Switch, and in 10, 15 years, the company is going to be way bigger than it ever was because they are no longer locked. They companies, a development team, a company, a Square Enix, whatever it is, they get into relationships with console exclusives like Sony. They get into console exclusive relationships because they need to get their foot in the door and they need to strengthen themselves as a company and a brand. When they're now around for 30 years straight, they have that strength and they're now looking into the future. They don't want to be tied or latched down to one console. And in the future, Nintendo will have a console that will be playing games that we consider today to be something that the Switch can't handle.
And there's
Mm-hmm.
also one thing
Mm.
that we also need to
Presumably the
consider as
Switch too.
well. The gaming industry as a whole, from the
Mm.
start to now, is only what at most 40 years old. So it's still learning how to be a successful business, for the most part. It ain't no
Yeah.
it ain't no Ford. It ain't no 100-year-old company at this point.
Right.
So they're still learning how to make their money in the ever changing economy. So we have to also consider that.
Yeah. Phenomenal take there, Heartless. Thank you. I enjoyed that. That was good.
That was
Mm-hmm.
good. Heartless
Yeah,
has
I
always
mean,
got those
because
thought thinking, those
I didn't
heart pumping
understand.
takes.
I didn't understand the like 10 minutes ago. I'm not understanding why a company would even get into a console exclusive relationship. And then
Mm.
Titus and No Soul in the chat are kind of breaking it down for me. So now it makes sense to me that a company like Square Enix, obviously, why would you get into a console exclusive relationship? You obviously need the help financially up
Right.
front so your game can get developed. Well, maybe
Mm-hmm.
at some point you're not going to need that, and now your sights are far. The horizon has
Yeah,
There's
gotten
because
much
you no
bigger
longer
for you.
need
actually
that
there's
dependable
ac-
relationship.
there's
You
actually a
no
great
longer
case
need it. So
study.
why
Mm-hmm.
would you lock yourself into that? And in the future, they're looking 20 years in the future. Companies like this, they don't look today. They look today and they say, okay, games are getting more expensive to make. We don't need this relationship with Sony anymore. And if we want to be around in 50 years, we have to figure out the next 10, 20 years.
There's
And
actually a
that is going
great
to
case
involve
study
getting our
here.
name household across the board.
It's actually a great case study here, Heartless, specifically with the Street Fighter series. Street Fighter 5 really put Capcom on its ass. The game was not successful at the beginning, and um, Sony invested directly in the in Capcom, and now this is the reason. And they bought Evo, and this is why PlayStation is the standard of fighting games. Is because they directly invested in Capcom, and now that's Capcom's return to Sony. Like, yes, Street Fighter is multi-platform. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
it is, but PlayStation is now the standard for all the tournaments, and there's a reason for that. Is because Sony cut that Capcom and Sony cut that deal with them to make it the standard. And
Really? That
yeah.
that was decided by Capcom and Sony.
And Sony,
Oh, I
Evo
didn't
is
know that.
owned by Sony. Carlos,
I
when we
didn't know
go to
that.
Evo, you're gonna see Sony everywhere. You won't see a single Xbox in that whole place. There's
But
all
you see signs that say Sony.
Sony is.
Oh, so
They
that's
own it.
why.
Yeah, so Sony owns Evo and also Pokimane, in case you wanted to know that too.
And Pokemon?
Uh, the Pokimane owns it. She is part of an investment group that owns Evo. Yeah.
Wait, what? Whoa,
Yeah.
what?
Pokimane, the streamer, is part of an investment group that is invested in Evo. She owns part of it.
That's crazy.
How did she
Yeah.
get that kind of connection? Yo, listen, we need to get agents, guys. Like, listen, we need to get some agents, Heartless. Like, I'm being dead serious.
Yeah, but Evo is
When did you
directly
keep
owned by
grinding, bro?
Sony. The
Bro.
production company that puts it on is directly owned by Sony. It's a Sony produced product. It's Sony's money that goes into that. And
So if I
granted,
buy a
others
couple of
don't.
shares of Sony, though, I could technically say I own Evo.
Yeah, sure.
If you buy enough
No,
shares,
you
though.
technically own it. If you have shares, don't you? It's still ownership.
Yeah. So
you
Capcom
own
and
parts
Sony
of
have a
Sony.
very great relationship, and also they have a similar relationship with Tekken too. And overall, Sony's super invested in fighting game esports, and that's why they are the console standard. And this is how Sony's making their money back on those deals: is they are the
really thought it
standard
was
now for
because
esports and fighting games.
I really thought it was because gamers prefer to play.
No, but
Street
I
Fighter
think what
on
it does
on
now is it
PlayStation.
gives people that impression that, hey, most people prefer to play on PlayStation when that's not the case.
There
It's a
are
marketing
two
tactic.
games. There's two games to really blame for that relationship: Tekken, Street Fighter, and Street Fighter V. Those games flopped so bad in the beginning that Capcom, they needed money, and Sony was there to save the day. And, they
Shout out to
saved the
Sony.
day, and if anyone remembers Marvel vs. Capcom 3, the Xbox used to be the standard. If you went to a tournament, you played on an Xbox,
Mhm.
but that changed after that relationship was born, and now PlayStation's the standard. So, if you go to a tournament.
That's dope.
So, there's a little context.
They're
So
smart.
the
That's smart ass
Capcom did it
business.
the right way. Square Enix probably did it the wrong way. They were just, if Square, they made a bad deal with Sony, and I feel bad for them.
All right, so I think it's safe to say that Square is kind of in turmoil, right?
Yeah.
So
7%
speaking of studios that are in turmoil, Ubisoft.
Look at that segue.
Segue.
Look at dude.
Segue.
Heartless. Cash
Yeah,
is on fire.
Ubisoft is definitely, man. Listen, they were in it this week. They were definitely in it this week. So first, it's the Assassin's Creed stuff. What do you guys want to start with? You guys want to start with the Assassin's Creed stuff? Do you want to start with the Heartland stuff? We can, or do we want to do with the whole controversy of it all? Which is it? Let me know.
Assassin's Creed.
Assassin's
Let's
Creed.
start with
But
this.
Yes.
Let's put the spotlight on this great game because it looks good.
What
All right.
part of it? Are we talking about the pricing model? Are we talking about
So
Yasuke? Or are we talking about the reveal trailer?
That's the question. So what do you want to start with?
Yeah.
Let's start with the reveal trailer because that was the news that started this whole
All right.
camp.
So the reveal trailer, Germ, you can let's start with our guest, Maury. Please tell me what are your thoughts on the trailer.
Oh, thanks, guys. I'm trying to think about. I love a great reveal trailer, and this was a phenomenal reveal trailer. I watched and I was enthralled at every second. It looks amazing. I have been burned by Ubisoft enough times to know that I want to see gameplay. I'm not trying to come in negative, but it looks great.
Let's
I'm
go.
very excited.
Exactly.
Yeah. And it looks good, and I like the two protagonists thing, but I'd be lying if I said that like in past games, like even Alan Wake 2 last year, I don't end up kind of leaning toward like another like one style of play over the other. For Alan Wake, I liked Saga more than I did Alan, and so it'll be interesting. I'm excited to see the way that Yasuke and Naue, are different than each other in gameplay and also in their arcs and in their journeys. But the reveal trailer looks great. But hopefully we'll see some gameplay here at Ubisoft Forward in June.
Yeah.
Okay. Jerem,
Huh?
thoughts?
I echo the similar thing. I like the reveal trailer. They did a great job with it. This was very Blizzard status, as terms of reveal trailers. I like it. I really like. For me, Assassin's Creed, the gameplay has been really stale for a bunch of years, but probably ever since what Black Flag. It's just been kind of the same game over and again and again and again and again. And I kind of like that they're mixing it up in the one game. Like what is it? The samurai and the ninja. It's kind of
Yeah.
going to be cool to
Yes.
have those two contrasting game
It's
styles, keep things
refreshing. Yes.
fresh.
So
Yeah.
how I break it down is you're going to get the traditional Assassin's Creed gameplay from Naue because she's a ninja. So again, traditionally that's an assassin's because she's the one who's gonna have the hidden blade. Yasuke won't have a hidden
Mm.
blade. So she's the one who will have the hidden blade, and I think she'll have a grappling hook to like climb walls and do all that stuff. And Yasuke is more of the action-oriented, action-focused gameplay that we've seen in more recent Assassin's Creed games. So
Yeah.
it's like I love the marriage of that, but at the same time, they're both separate. I don't think
What
and I think you're gonna be forced to play both. So it's good to
yeah.
see that as well. But yeah,
When did the first Assassin's Creed game came out? Like what, early
I don't know. It
2000s?
still hurts.
Something like
It still
that? Been a
hurts.
while.
It still hurts
Okay, let's
because
just
again,
say it took almost 20 years for us to get a game about assassins that has a ninja in it.
but
Let's
it's the
just
first.
think about that for
Well,
a
people have
minute.
been asking for
That's
that since
dope
the
though.
first game
Bro.
came out. Again, I'm not a big Assassin's Creed fan. For those who don't know, shocker. But I have a personal like. I wouldn't say hatred is a strong word, but I have a personal like dislike of the Assassin's Creed franchise, and it's solely because it killed the Prince of Persia franchise.
Oh yeah, I
Mm.
remember feeling salty about that at the
Right?
beginning too.
And Assassin's Creed started off as a Prince of Persia game. For those who don't know, it was called Prince of Persia Assassins, and
Yeah, I remember.
they basically booted that idea and just make it a whole new IP. And then afterwards, Prince of Persia, we didn't see Prince of Persia for like I want to say 4 or 5 years. It was dormant for like 5 years, and when it came out, it came out at a whimper. Nobody really, so it really killed the
Yeah.
franchise to me.
It was more of a platformer than it was
Yes,
any
it
what it
was. It
used to
was.
be. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, it was the new one that came out was more in line with I want to say it was more in line with the movie because at the time the Jake Gyllenhaal movie was gonna drop, and that was that it felt like a movie tie-in. It didn't feel like it was standing on its own, and I didn't like that.
Yeah, and I agree with you. Like Prince of Persia, then just the name Prince of Persia and then was it early Xbox days and stuff used to carry weight. If you heard that name, there was excitement that you felt. But now, if you mention the name Prince of Persia, people instantly change the conversation to Assassin's Creed, and I've always got irritated by that. You
Hmm.
know, it kind of it's stolen the thunder. It really has
Oh yeah,
of a great
yeah.
franchise.
I wonder how much of that is because they didn't full. I don't know if they fully own a license to that, but it wasn't an original Ubisoft IP because Prince of Persia was a PC game back in the day. So I'm
Mhm.
wondering if that was also a part of that situation as well. I don't know. I'm just saying. This is just me saying shit.
Um,
But yeah,
but on in terms of Assassin's Creed, this game looks fire though.
yeah, I like the
I,
game. The
I'm
game looks dope.
Fire.
the first one Assassin's Creed has come out since probably two that I've been interested in, or at least looked at twice.
No,
You know,
I think since Black Flag for me because I was a big Black Flag fan, bro. Which is why I got excited for Skull and Bones until I realized what Skull and Bones was, and I was like, okay, cool. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this one. And it has nothing to do with the character. I just like the concept of like balancing two characters and both of them will have their own unique gameplay styles
I
and
don't know. I
whatever.
kind of like the character.
No, no, no,
Yeah.
no, no. I like the character, but what I'm saying is it's not even about that. It's more of just what they're doing with both characters, if that makes sense.
and I have to
For sure.
say,
For sure.
like, this is the first time Ubisoft as a company has been on all of our on our mouths for a long time. When was the last time a Ubisoft game was coming out that we were all just like, let's talk about this?
Hmm.
They've kind of been like that. The way, developer no one talks about. They're there, but no one talks
They're
about.
right
You know?
next to EA
Yeah.
nowadays. I've come to realize. Like, I don't know what if people hate EA more or Ubisoft right now at this point. But I think they're neck and neck when it comes to developers nowadays. Am I the only one that thinks that? I feel
I
like
don't know.
those are the
Nah,
two companies
they're
people
pretty
talk
neck and neck.
about like hating the most recently.
Yeah, there hasn't been a Ubisoft game that I've been like interested in really exploring in a while.
X
I
Defiant is highly
I have to
anticipated.
really
Yeah,
think about a game that they put out recently that that Star Wars one seems kind of cool, but
I'm looking forward to
I'll
Star Wars
try
as
it out.
well. It looks cool.
See, that's what's so interesting is that for the first time in a long time, Ubisoft is in a really great position in my mind because I cannot stand Ubisoft. But you have Prince of Persia, The Lost Crown at the beginning of the year, Star
Which
Wars
Heartless is
Outlaws.
gonna
I'm
play.
bought in right now. We'll see if I remain bought in. And then Assassin's Creed Shadows. Like for the first time in a long time, it seems like Ubisoft might actually know what they're doing. I don't want to say that too quick because I'm sure that if I do
Don't
come back
jinx it.
on again in the future and they
Don't
bomb
jinx
all
it.
these games, I'm going to get cooked. But what if they actually know what they're doing? Because Prince of Persia
Don't
was great.
jinx it.
No, I know. I got to stop. Never mind. I'm done.
But yeah, it looks very promising, man. It looks. I want to see more gameplay though, because I'm also one of the people. I don't like cinematic trailers. I
This does
don't
look
like
like the most
cinematic trailers.
cinematic
This is not a
Assassin's
movie. I
Creed,
need to
'cause they
see
can be fooled.
gameplay. That's what's gonna really get me excited. The gameplay. I want to see what they do.
Yeah. Ultimately, the gameplay, these cinematics are great, but the whole reason why it's a game in the first place is gameplay. And if the gameplay sucks, there's no reason for it to exist. You know what I mean? That's just how it is.
I like cinematic trailers.
Nah,
I think
me
the
really. I
first
want to
thing
see
you should
gameplay.
release- I think the first thing you should release is a cinematic trailer, and then shortly follow it up with gameplay.
Gameplay.
I think you
I
should
think
do
so, for
gameplay
sure.
first to get people, talking about it, or at least satisfy questions that it's gonna, what it's gonna be gameplay wise, and then reveal a story trailer to answer those questions. Because initially you're gonna be like, oh, you're gonna come for the gameplay and stay for the story.
I feel
That
like
makes
I
sense.
get what Heartless is saying though. You reveal the
We're
trailer
visual
to build
creatures.
intrigue,
We
and then
are
you drop the
visual
gameplay. You
creatures.
get more detail.
Yeah. No matter what, we are visual creatures. Like at the
Mhm.
end of the day, we like to look at things and we like them to be good looking. So
Mhm.
when you drop a cinematic trailer, Juju's saying it's because the gameplay is not ready. For me personally, it just makes sense to me to drop a cinematic trailer first. You want to get eyes on the product, and you want people to say the product is beautiful, and then you want people to question, is it got good gameplay? And then you release the gameplay footage, and you obviously want to make them, what's the word? Not just satisfied, but you want them, when the gameplay is released, you want them to be like, oh, damn, and the gameplay is fire. You know what I'm saying?
You want to get them hype. Get the
You
people
want to get them
going.
hyped.
Well, I would say just
You know,
just
get
delay it
people
a little
going.
bit. Just don't wait till the gameplay is ready. I mean,
All right. So one of the things that also we're gonna get back to the whole Assassin's Creed thing, but I think it was kind of crazy that they dropped the trailer, the announcement trailer of Assassin's Creed Shadows, and at the same time canceled a game that I was looking forward to because I'm a big fan of their franchise, which was The Division. But this was the free to play version that they got rid of. For those who don't know, it is The Division Heartland recently got canceled the same day, within the same moment of the trailer dropping for Assassin's Creed Shadows.
so
Heartlands
this
was
is
going to be
supposed
the
to be
free to
like
play
the
version of
Warzone.
that game where you could play with friends. It was more of like a survival like action game. And I was
So this
looking
is
forward to
like
it,
Far
but now
Cry.
I
Far
don't know.
Cry. This is like Tom Clancy Far Cry, kind of.
Yeah.
What are we looking at here?
Oh, this is Skull and Bones.
Oh.
This was Skull and Bones. But because we're talking Ubisoft, I just had like a B-roll of just like a bunch of recent Ubisoft
Yeah,
releases.
you got it. I just didn't want to get confused.
Yeah.
It's-
So
I was
yeah,
about to say-
they canceled the Division, and I'm kind of salty about that. But Moore, what are your thoughts? Are you a Division fan?
No. I've tried to play both at different times. It didn't land for me. By the way, just on screen, guys, just take a look.
Skull and
Like
Bones.
bask in the greatness of this quadruple A game. I mean, oh my
Oh my
god,
God.
it
That's a
looks
buzzword.
so
That's a
good.
buzzword around these parts. That's a
Yes.
buzzword.
God,
Quadruple
I
A.
just
Are
love.
you being sarcastic?
No, Heartless. No, I love Skull and Bones. No, look at this shit. But anyway, no, I'm back to the Division. No, I mean, I'm not a Division fan.
I don't think
I've
this looks
tried.
that good, to be honest with you. Whatever's on the screen, I don't think it looks.
He was
that
being sarcastic.
good. Okay,
Thank
good.
you
I
for that,
was
Ray.
sure we're on the same page.
Yeah, no. I could never
Hey,
give
yo,
Skull
Zero
and
with
Bones
the
any
raid.
props.
Zero, welcome in. Thank you. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome into the podcast.
What's up, Raiders?
Welcome in. But yeah. Maury, continue. What do you think you said about the Division?
Are there any Tom
Yeah.
Clancy fans? I have not played a Tom Clancy game since like PlayStation 2
20
days.
years.
I have. Like, I'm a bit
yeah.
like, I love a lot of Tom Clancy games, to be honest with you. Splinter Cell was one of my favorite franchises. Sam Fisher is one of my favorite, like, I guess
Oh,
you could say,
yeah.
not only video game protagonists, but that's just like fictional
That's a
hero
forgotten
of all time.
franchise.
Love
Wow.
Michael Ironside as Sam Fisher. That dude, he has an iconic voice, bro.
Yeah.
Iconic. Whenever I hear the voice, I'm like, that's Sam Fisher.
Man, that is a franchise from yesteryear. That's a franchise that needs to come back.
No, they're trying to
See,
bring it back. They're working on a remake right now, so we should see more news about that. Hopefully, at the new Ubisoft. I guess you could say, is that like a press conference or whatever we want to call it? Because I think Summer Game Fest is coming up as well, and Ubisoft will be
Yeah.
featured on Summer Game Fest. So I'm looking forward to that, which I also will be
Yeah.
streaming the day of. I actually just got clearance for it. I will be officially streaming Summer Game Fest.
Nice.
Oh, that's awesome. That's sick.
Yeah.
Well, we'll have a whole episode just to that for sure.
Oh yeah, we can make it a watch party. That could be a thing. But yeah,
So,
yeah. What do you
I
think,
don't really
Jerem? What do you
have
think about the
anything
whole
to say
closing of?
about. I
Mhm.
don't really have anything to say about Division. Not being a first-person shooter fan, this is not a first-person shooter I've ever tried. So, I don't really have anything to say about it.
Oh, this is not a
but-
first-person shooter, by the way. Division is not
Oh.
first. It's third person.
No,
No, it's third
whatever it
person.
is. Like, yeah, I'm not.
I was a
big
fan.
into
I had like
shooting
a
games.
little squad going. We used to go to the dark zone and do a bunch of crazy stuff. So it was a lot of fun. But the minute that group kind of got disbanded, I haven't really played anymore. Like a lot of these games are a lot more fun when you have like a team behind you. Like you have a bunch of people that you can play with. And if you don't have that, the
Yeah.
experience is kind of different. So you know,
shooters have never really grabbed me. I mean, Helldivers was fun, but that's the last shooter that I remember enjoying. in
speaking
very-
of
in the last
shooters,
20
because the
years.
chat is also talking about shooters. Or also, I think X Define is coming out by the next podcast, so I want us to try it out. It might be a squad night game this week. I think it comes out on the 25th, if I'm not mistaken.
21st. It comes out
21st?
Tuesday.
Oh, so
Yeah.
it comes out in 2 days. It comes out on Tuesday.
Yeah, so
Yep.
next podcast, be looking for our reaction.
Yeah, so we'll be playing it for squad night. For anybody who wants to pull up, we can play together and just like, you guys can share your thoughts, and that could also be happening in the podcast as well. We could talk about it. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
But the only comment I would say is this kind of I guess Ubisoft must be looking for good PR because they clearly tried to hide the fact that they canceled the game in an announcement of Assassin's Creed, So they're
Sure.
trying to avoid the bad press, but we, you can't fool us. We always catch it. And we gamers have eagle vision.
Right? They try
Yeah,
to
you
be
can't
slick
touch
about it
anything
too, because
past
they did it right in the same time.
Yeah.
Right in the same time. So that news got covered up because of plus the whole controversy just happened right after that as well. So it's like nobody really noticed that Heartland got canceled. Nobody's really talking
No.
about it. So
This is the
yeah.
flow of media. Like, you really can't hide shit anymore in today's world. Like, someone's gonna find it, someone's gonna put it out there, and it's gonna go viral. You really can't hide things in today's world.
Yeah.
I'm-
So speaking of this whole backlash situation, let's touch on that as well. So before we get into that, let's talk about the price point. So the price point is very similar. It's the same as Star Wars. What's the name? Outlaws. It's the same price model as Star Wars Outlaws. So the first
we
one is
got
going to be
here?
$70. Next one's going to be $110. And then $130. And then if you don't want to do that, you can get their subscription service, which is going to be the $17.99, which is $18. And again, I'm still gonna reiterate this. I really feel like it's them funneling people to their subscription service, which is why these price points are so high. Because now people are gonna look at, hey, maybe I just subscribe to this shit and I won't have to pay for this game up front. And I'll still be able to play the game. Thoughts?
But
Like,
what's
Maury, what are your thoughts
what
on the situation? Then
Oh,
Jared.
go ahead, Maury. Sorry.
No, you're fine. No, yeah, I think so. I did a little bit of math in my free time, and this is like super dependent on Ubisoft doing everything right, which I've said I think they can do, and I will regret that, I'm sure. If you take Prince of Persia and the Lost Crown, right, which was a great title this year from Ubisoft, if you take Star Wars Outlaws and you take Assassin's Creed Shadows, right, and you put all those together, right, which I
Mhm.
think are the three only really big titles coming from Ubisoft this year, it's
This year.
$190. But to pay for this subscription service for an entire year is
Mhm.
216. So I guess my question is what, and I understand all the back catalog and whatever else, but I can go find an old Assassin's Creed game at GameStop for $5. So
Mhm.
I'm struggling to understand the value that they're offering to this. I think they're really hoping that X Defiant is successful because then they can work in like some sort of like currency you get every month, or maybe you get a free battle pass with X Defiant if you're subscribed to this Ubisoft Plus program. But I think they're really riding on that. But I don't know. I think that the subscription services, I don't think it's going to have the value that it needs to be worth the price point. In regards to them doing the different price points and having the extra missions in there, that's Ubisoft. You know, they've
Mhm.
been doing that.
I
I'm not
also
like surprised by it.
I also
I
think that
see.
they believe that their games have a lot more value than they actually do, to be honest. Because I feel like
Yeah.
that's why they're going with the subscription service. I don't think it's enough to pull me in to say, you know what, I'm gonna pay for this service. This is me personally, though. Like that's just my personal opinion. A lot of their games to me don't really have replayability. Like if I beat certain Ubisoft games, like Splinter Cell, I'll definitely probably play it again. But like not every game that they do have, I want to like revisit. Like they may be good games for the most part, but I'm never gonna play another Far Cry game after I beat it because I just don't have that interest. And the Far Cry
Yep.
games are way too massive any fucking way. So no, Germ, sorry, go.
Um, for me, I think I'm just gonna put the prices here, or if any, the official Ubisoft page about it, if
Hmm.
anyone wants to check it out. Um, so for me, I think the subscription service I go back and forth on because
$70
first of all,
for the standard.
Yep,
well, yeah,
$70.
let's go over that. So we have the $60. That's the base game. That's just the regular old game. And then you have the gold version. That
I gotta go
one
for a watch.
has
Bruh.
what comes with it? It just comes with some extra bonus missions, two upcoming expansions in that one, and then the what else here? The 129 includes three early access.
Mhm.
Yeah, 3 days early access
Yeah, you're getting early
and
access. It's pretty much the
bonus
same
missions.
thing as the whole Star Wars
First of
situation.
all, why do you need early access on a single player game? But
3 days,
Bro.
3 days, not just that. 3 days early access. Like I can wait 3 days. This is me
yeah,
personally.
and the subscription model basically gives you all that. Plus, you get access to Ubisoft Plus Premium, which is like a streaming service of their games.
Mhm.
So,
Bro,
um, I don't know. I think $216 is really a lot for just access to a game I can just buy physically and just have it whenever I want.
hold up,
You know,
but
like
guys, can I ask you guys a question? Do you not like the like? I know Germ don't like first person shooters, but this kind of looks promising to me. This looks just like Call of Duty. Let's just keep it a buck. This is Call of Duty,
Yeah.
but it looks good. It looks good.
Yeah, I
and
played the
then
beta about a year back, I think, and I enjoyed my time with it. It wasn't bad. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I don't see
and
this
then
taking away from the Call of Duty fan base. I really don't, but it looks good.
there's nothing that'll take away the Call of Duty
No,
fan
Call of Duty
base.
is an install
They're
fan base. I
loyal.
always say that. They're not going anywhere. They'll complain about everything about Call of Duty and still buy the new game that comes out. That's something I've
Hey,
seen.
Overwatch fans shouldn't throw stones because the Blizzard's been screwing you guys over for a
I
long
mean, I don't spend
time.
money on Overwatch, so
But
there's
you
that.
guys keep coming
I
back.
do.
I don't spend
I
money on
spend money.
Overwatch, so there's that. And I just
So there's
started
also
playing
one.
Overwatch last year when Overwatch 2 came out. So I wouldn't necessarily call myself an Overwatch player per se.
There's one more part that you left off, Cash. There's also a $280 collector's edition. It's a physical version of the game. It includes
Wait,
a
what?
statue of the two protagonists. Um, it includes the game, of course. It includes a bunch of custom, the bonus level, everything that is included in the other versions, plus the early access. And this collector's box. and a bunch of extra cosmetics and decorations and accessories for your character.
Yep.
For your apparently a hideout that I guess you're able to do in the game. And yeah, so $280 for that. And Goose is
Goddamn.
really cool statue.
Yeah,
I had to
and
go
I
for a
bet I
walk.
bet
I
you
just
won't
want you
get the
guys to
physical
know.
copy of the game with that. It's gonna be a digital version of the game, just like they did with Spider-Man. I'm just saying.
It
Yep.
doesn't say-
Did
yeah,
the same thing with
includes-
Ragnarok.
no, it says physical
It did,
disc here.
Ragnarok did the
physical
same
disc.
thing exactly.
It
Yep.
says physical disc here in the notes, so
You
it is a
did?
physical
What?
game.
Well, that's a
Yeah.
plus.
A season pass plus bonus quests and 2 upcoming expansions, ultimate pack, Sekiro character pack, a hideout pack, 5 skill points, as well as a red dragon filter for your photo
Skill points for
mode.
what? So we're buying
Photo
we're
skill
paying for upgrades
case,
now.
collector's art book, a sword, a life-size replica of Niobe's katana, a world map, a wall scroll of some kind of
For
graphic,
$200?
two lithographs, and Niobe and Yasuke dual character statue.
Wait. And that's $200?
$280.
I mean, shit, that kind of sounds
Remember,
nice
if you
though.
guys remember Spider-Man 2, they did something
You get
very
a
similar.
sword?
to this.
You get a sword, bro. That sounds kind of nice though. I'm not gonna front.
I ain't hating on everything that's included
can you
there,
put
but
that link?
280 is that worth that price? That sounds good.
Can
It
you
sounds
put that,
it
can you
sounds
put that link?
yeah. I got
Please,
you.
please.
I went to
I want
pre-order
you,
it this week.
I want you guys to know something though. I read the $70 base edition and I had to go for a walk.
Yeah, here it is. Collector's
Guys, I'm being
edition here in the
priced out,
chat.
I'm being
Check it out.
priced out of gaming.
Yep.
I am being
God.
priced out of gaming.
If we remember,
Oh.
Spider-Man 2 did something very similar.
That's what I
here,
said.
But I don't remember it costing that much.
No, it was
but I
200.
don't remember. Yeah, see?
So where's the
No, but you get a
dog?
sword
You
with
get-
this one, so I think the extra $100 for the sword.
Just remember, you get 6
I don't
inches
see
of
it, though.
Venom.
Yep.
It was 19 inches.
19
Germ.
inches
Did it
of
right.
Venom.
Inches of Venom or whatever.
19 inches of Venom.
Behind me.
That's a cool collection, and for people that like physical media, it's cool. But that's a really hefty price,
And a statue. Yeah, we did say a statue, Juju. We did mention the statue, the dual statue of
Dude, this is a
Nawe
life-size
and
katana.
yeah. It says you're getting a statue of Nawe and Yasuke. He did say that. Germs did say that.
Yeah.
So that's a lot.
Yeah, but life-size katana.
Life size the katana is what sold me though for 280. That's what sold me, not the
For
statue. I'm
sure.
sorry.
That's what.
The
for
statue
sure.
didn't sell me, bro. The katana is what sold me.
So funny for me, it was the statue. I went into GameStop this week to ask about it, and they were like, "Yeah, you got to put 50 down." And I was like,
I'm
"Dude,
curious
I am
what the
not about
wall
to put
scroll
50 down."
is. I like having things I
I
can hang on
wish
the
I
wall.
could get this. This is fire. This is absolutely fire.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Talking about
I
getting
don't
priced
even
out
know
of
if I'd open
gaming,
it,
and he's
though.
like, "Oh, give me the 280 collector's edition." I can't stand you, Heartless. I asked for a $10 increase
I'm
so the
not
industry
buying
could
this. There's
survive,
no
and you
way
want a
in hell I'm
katana.
buying this. I would never
Uh,
buy
Oh,
this. I
it's
wish
not
I
the whole
could. And if
katana
I ever
itself.
bought
It
it,
says it's the Tsuba. It's like that. It's the handguard for the sword. It's not the whole sword itself. There's a photo over here. It's just the handguard of the sword. It's not the
No, I
actual
don't believe you.
sword.
no,
No,
way.
never,
No way.
never mind it. I don't need that.
It's
shit.
just the handguard that goes on the sword. It's not the whole sword.
No, then I know. I want a real sword. No,
Put the
fuck
link.
that. No.
Still though, that's cool. That's a really cool collection. And I like this thing that's gonna hang on the wall. This like wall art, dude. That's totally my vibe. I like that.
Can we put the link for this katana thingy? I'm honestly
It's
disappointed.
the links in the chat there, Heartless. Check it out.
Yeah, that
Wait,
that
what?
looks kind of insane. That looks kind of
Dude, I
nuts.
just-
The link to the
guys,
GameStop link?
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
a link to the
On
GameStop.
GameStop.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm on it. I don't see an image of the.
If
the
you go to the
katana
page,
thing.
there's gonna be some photos off to the side. There. One of the photos has got like a.
Oh, I
what's
see it. I
everything
see it. I see it.
done on
Now is katana Suba. Yeah, life size.
it.
Yep, I see it.
Handguard. Yeah.
Yeah, I see it.
So on terms of the pricing, that $17 one is a no-go for me. I definitely would not be buying that. I probably would, if I was to buy this game, I would buy the gold edition, I think, because I don't care about early access that much. The season pass maybe, but yeah, I would probably buy the $110 version if I buy the game.
Yeah. All right. So let's talk about this controversy, guys.
Yeah,
Um,
let's go.
let's
go.
let's really get into this. I
Well,
really want to hear what the chat has to say about this whole situation because
so for those who don't know, the main samurai protagonist, what's his name, Cash?
Yasuke.
Yasuke.
So let's break it down first. So this game will be featured. This game will feature a dual protagonist system, which is Yasuke, who is a slave turned samurai, right? And then there's gonna be a second character, which is Nawe, which is a Japanese character who's going to be a shinobi. Yahweh will be a samurai. She will be a shinobi. And people are having an issue with the main protagonist being not of the culture or not of the country as well, right? That's the best way I'm going to put it for right now. And I feel like they're undermining the fact that this is a dual protagonist system and there are two characters here and one of them is actually Japanese, and I don't see anybody talking about that shit. But let's start with Maury. I want to
Before
hear
we
what
get
you have to
into
say because
that,
I know you
before we
worked
get
on a
into that,
paper
I just
for
wanna say one
Yasuke,
thing.
so you're actually one
Yeah.
of the perfect people to talk
Before we get
about
into
this.
that, I just want to say one thing. Everybody, Chun-Li's Chinese. Just a heads up, everyone. She's
Who?
Chinese, folks.
Oh, Nawe?
Chun-Li is Chinese, folks.
Oh, Chun-Li is
So, yeah.
Chinese?
Ethnic people have been in games forever. And what is it? She lives in New York. She lives in Metro City.
Oh, well, that's not the issue. They're having an
So,
issue with Yasuke being in the
fair.
game as a main protagonist. People are saying it should have been a Japanese national who was the main character. I had
I'm
someone say,
pointing out the hypocrisy of it. The
yeah, I
hypocrisy
had someone
that
go as
levels
far as
from
to say
ridiculous.
he should have. They don't have a problem with Yasuke, but he should have been a DLC character. I'm like, what the fuck for? That's not the part of the story. They want to tell a story with this character and these characters. Okay, why should he be DLC?
Yeah. I agree. And so here's my thing. I wrote a little thing here, so just give me a second because I have so many thoughts. Because unfortunately, this plagued my Twitter feed this week. I could not get away from it.
Yeah.
I think the thing I'll open is just saying that this has been a very annoying and draining conversation. It was so funny. I didn't know the female lead protagonist's name until Cash told me 2 days ago because of how ignored she's been. Right in the middle of all this racist nonsense, these Neanderthals have shown their hand as they boast about. Do what?
Go ahead.
I just screamed out racism.
Yeah,
I just screamed out racism.
Hey,
As they
Maury
both-
out here, or Maury out here trying to. He's taking on racism. Let's go. You have our
Guys, I go to a historically black college. This is my life. I'm telling this is every day. As they boast the reason for their anger being a lack of Japanese representation in a game taking place in feudal Japan, they have all but erased one of AC Shadow's protagonists, a Japanese woman. So I want to settle the score, right? One, this is one of the most annoying conversations I've seen on Twitter this week. The Japanese title of retainer is categorized as a samurai. No one argues that. Yes, Yasuke was a retainer. That is a type of samurai.
It is
Two,
a type of
Yasuke
samurai.
was a
Fact.
Yes. Two, Yasuke was a real person in Japan in this time period interacting with historical figures that appear in the game. So he is a real person. Three, Assassin's Creed has never been a detailed, exact historical telling of any period in world history. Instead, they take elements from history to create a fantastical story with hardly any anchor to reality. Look at Odyssey, where we were fighting Minotaurs, or Valhalla, where we fought Odin. Yasuke is more historically sound than most of what we've seen in recent Assassin's Creed games.
Four, remember, Assassin's Creed 2 had Leonardo da Vinci in it. You know, like he's a real person. You know,
Well,
it's like
pause for a second.
but it's not the
Let's-
real Leonardo.
Let's
da
stop
Vinci,
for a
you
second.
know?
I want to know who the fuck actually looks to Assassin's Creed for historic accuracy. I would love to know, please. I want to know who. No, you're erasing history. No, we're not. Nobody is doing that. Nobody's saying this is historical fact. No one.
Now, what Goot said about how they take historical figures from the past to make like an amalgamation. A fictional story. That's what they do, and that's what they do best.
That's what they've been.
That's why
They've been doing. That's what they've been doing.
He fits well for this.
Yeah.
He does. He
Definitely.
is the outsider. He is the one that would be the assassin in this. He fits well for the theme of what Assassin's Creed does.
Yeah. So I looked up the Wikipedia page. Yasuke, did I say that right?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Was a
yeah.
man of African origin who served as a retainer to the Japanese Oda Nobunaga in 1581 through 1582 during the Sengoku period. He was retained by the daimyo
Daimon.
as a koshu or whatever that is for a period of 15 months until Obunaga's death.
Yes.
So yeah, he's a real person. He's a real legit African samurai.
Who
So
was
it's like,
in Japan. Like he was there, he interacted with these historical figures. Like it's just, dude, it's and I'll say this. This is my I have like two more points and then I swear
Continue,
I'm
continue.
gonna
I'm
be
sorry I
done.
cut you off. Go.
No. It's everything was great. And this is the thing is I think I kind of wrap it up well here. I wrote for as much as you might like to believe that this is a part of a culture war, some forced diversity, it's not. It will likely be a narrative tool for Ubisoft to show differences between two people and how they can use those differences to work together. And in this instance, one of the protagonists happens to be black. And five, please get over yourself. You need to critique black representation in games. You needing to critique black representation in games is pulling all of us away from what we should be talking about, the game. We should be discussing the narrative and how they will use this period in history and these characters to tell an interesting story worthy of our investment. We should be talking about gameplay and what Ubisoft Quebec needs to improve upon from their last entries in the franchise to make this a successful title. We should be talking about the game, but instead we're having to go into this imaginary culture war and racist delusions, and it's poisoning the industry. That was my little bit because we're not talking about the game anymore, and I think that's been my biggest critique of this conversation is that it has gotten so far away from what we should be critiquing Ubisoft Quebec on that we're not even talking about the game anymore. We're not talking about what they're offering. What are they selling to us? Are the price points worth it? Is the two extra missions like whatever the critique is, right? We're not even critiquing the game anymore. It's just some imaginary culture war that people are talking about on Twitter. It's been
yeah, and
disappointing.
and to also echo what you're saying, and also just kind of put things in perspective. And I believe everything you just said, Maury, and I stand behind it too. Let's look at what's going on in the world right now. Palestine, Ukraine or whatever. Yeah, those. What's going on in the world right now. And we're arguing about stupid stuff like this. You know, a
I agree with that.
samurai in an Assassin's Creed game.
Right.
Like people need to get their priorities straight.
Facts.
Yo,
And
Facts.
it's like
but yo, but
ridiculous.
it
I've been one of the strongest proponents against like forced diversity. Like that's something I talk about a lot, believe it or not. And I see forced. I don't think this is what this is. I'm gonna be very honest. I don't think
I
this is
agree.
what this is.
I agree.
Yep, agreed.
Look at the
I think
injustices, like Black Lives Matter, for example. Like the injustices that have existed in just the last 3 or 4 years in society, and that's just the last 3 or 4 years. Like as a whole for the history of everyone. It's like, and we're worried about a black samurai. And if this game had a create a character mode, people would be making black samurai. People did it for Rise of Ronin. So it's like,
People
why
did it
is it
for
a
Wulong,
it's
bro. People did it for
so
Wulong,
ridiculous.
Fallen Dynasty.
Yeah. It's
So,
so
I don't know,
ridiculous.
bro.
I just don't get it. And by the way, Miles Morales is black, by the way. So, it's like, why are we worried about these kinds of stuff? It's just not important. And then it brings me back to that argument about how people, if you call Miles Morales Spider-Man, people get all bent out of shape. It's like, he's just as much a Spider-Man as
No,
Peter
so
Parker is.
I know the argument behind that because I'm a comic book fan, and I'll argue that as well. He's not Spider-Man. He's a Spider-Man, and that's what I'll say about
Spider-Man is
that.
a title. It's not one
Miles
person.
Morales is a Spider-Man. He's not the Spider-Man. Peter Parker is the Spider-Man. I don't care what color he is. He's the Spider-Man. He's the first one. He's
I agree
the
with that.
Spider-Man.
But in terms of Assassin's Creed, I just have to say this again. For what Assassin's Creed is, you have a character who goes in and takes down a group of people, right?
Mm-hmm.
It would make sense that Yasuke is that person. He
Yeah.
is the outsider at the period of time.
But that's
Yep.
but
You know
they
what I'm
even
saying?
said it in
It
this
makes
story.
perfect sense.
Yeah, they said it in this story. Like it's from two different perspectives. So when I heard that, the first place I went to was, oh, you're going to experience feudal Japan through the eyes of an outsider and from someone who's actually from there. That's how
Yeah.
I look at this.
Yep.
And
that's the thing.
essentially, that's been the whole theme of Assassin's Creed games from the beginning. Is people that are out. As an assassin, you are assassinating people of power, right? So you already are an outsider right from the start, right? So this has been the theme of Assassin's Creed all the way back to the first game. So yeah, it's just on brand, it's on brand for Assassin's
no, bro.
Creed. Like, this is exactly what Assassin's Creed games are.
It's not forced wokeness.
It's
never see
definitely
that
not.
at
I
all.
don't think this is what this
And
is.
I'm the first person to be like,
Trust me, bro.
Why is Clark Kent black?
Black, exactly.
You know?
And yeah, and this is
Exactly.
not
You know,
that.
Exactly.
not,
I'm the
like,
same way.
I'm like,
Recasting.
why is Bruce Wayne Asian?
Like,
I'm telling you, if I ever caught something like that, I'm the first person to be like, this is off. But this, I don't sense that from this at all.
Yeah.
Nah, I
That
don't
was a
get that.
good, that's a good point that you bring up, Heartless. Like, this is not that of recasting someone for just diversity in a thing. Like, this is not that.
Exactly. It's not. It does not give that at all.
No, it doesn't. It
This is a
definitely
real
doesn't.
person.
Yeah,
This is
this was a real
historical
black
figure.
man. This was a real
And
black
that's
man.
and that's just where everything for me has gone off the rails. It's like we know that this figure existed in this historical time period. He interacted with these figures, and like I said, like I feel like all of it goes back to me, to that final thing. It's like I want to talk about the game. I want to talk about whether or not it's worthy of the $70 price point. I want to talk about whether or not it's worthy of my investment. I want to talk about the gameplay. I want to talk about all that, the narrative. And because that's what all of us do. We talk about games,
Bro.
right?
I
And
think
it's
you know what?
it's
More.
Yeah.
Sorry to cut you off. I
Yeah.
think Ubisoft planned this. They don't want us to talk about the price point. That's why they did this shit.
Yeah,
This was
totally possible.
this was
what's that old
planned.
saying? All press is good press.
This was a
All
plan,
press-
guys.
Yeah.
We're not even talking. That's not even the big conversation this week. When Star Wars came out, when they dropped the price point for Star Wars, that's all we talked about. We're not talking about it. We're talking
No,
about
we're not.
Yasuke. That
And
was
you could say
planned.
Star Wars, the actual sequel trilogy, may have done similar. I mean, granted, they were going for that woke culture thing, but with what's their name, Ray.
Right? Listen, I
so-
don't even want to. Please don't even bring up the. God damn it,
But
Jerm.
that's
You need to go
besides the
for a walk
point.
too?
That's a
I
fictional
might need to
character.
go for a walk now.
So-
That did, bro. I'm not. Okay.
Like,
Moving
I'm
on.
telling
Like-
y'all right now, don't even bring up a game on the podcast that is $80 base edition. I'll quit the podcast. I'll
but
walk off.
on
the
the
set.
game itself, this game has my attention, and for the narrative and the idea of, it feels like Assassin's Creed games are maybe returning back to form a little bit. I think they kind of got off the path with like Odyssey and some of these other ones. It got off the formula that made Assassin's Creed what Assassin's Creed is.
Mm-hmm.
The great games, I ain't hating on them. The gameplay is cool, but
I'm looking forward to
um,
see what the dual protagonist system looks like.
yeah.
I want to see
I
what
like-
Assassin's Creed
I
does
think it'll
with
be
that.
refreshing. You play a few missions with one character
Mhm.
before you can get bored of that fighting style, that game style. Then you're forced upon another character.
It looks like they
and
work
then
together.
you
It
work
looks
on
like they
those
were actually
mechanics.
working together.
It
Yeah.
does
Yeah.
look like they work together.
Because it says
Or
something.
maybe
They,
they're-
they
I
call
wonder if
themselves the
it's only one
Shadows. They're
character.
who's
Love
considered the
story.
Shadows. We are the Shadows. He said that in the trailer.
I wonder if this is going to be some kind of love story situation. It's not really hinted at in this trailer, but I wonder if
don't-
it's going to be like that.
It doesn't
I
have
hope
to
they
be,
don't
but
go
I
that
hope it
route.
doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't
But-
need jungle fever in here. It's fine.
Hey,
But yeah. But yeah, that's pretty much it for it, bro. I feel like we could have ended on what Morris said, because he wrapped that in such a beautiful
Yeah.
bow, bro. Like, but yeah,
the game looks cool.
Game looks cool.
not
I'm looking forward to
sure
it.
about I'm not sure about Ubisoft's pricing model for the last two games that they're putting out.
Trust
I'm on
me, that's
the
going to be the
fence
pricing
about it.
model moving forward for Ubisoft, because if they're going this far into it with their second game, trust and believe they're going to do it with every other AAA title that they drop.
I'm on the
Absolutely.
fence about it. I just hope I'm very cautious about this becoming a precedent for the rest of the industry.
But things like this always become the precedent when you really think about it, bro.
If you ask me, this feels experimental at this point, and if it doesn't catch on, they'll go back to the way it was.
Now, I really think that
But
they're
if it,
pushing the subscription service. That's my honest opinion. They want people in their subscription service because, again, that's $17 over the year. They're basically getting all that money in 1 year. You're getting 200 and change in a year?
well, I don't see the success of this, and I say for this reason is okay. So you sign up for the subscription service, you have access to all this stuff. So what happens the next time Xbox or PlayStation raise their prices for their subscription? So you are essentially, when does it comes to be the point where it's just you can't afford both, and what are you going to
Yeah,
cut out? You're not going to
yep.
cut out your PlayStation internet subscription because you need that to play all your games. You're going to cut out the Ubisoft one.
So Juju
So
said, tell the panel
yeah,
to look up games as a service. That's what games are doing. That's what games do nowadays. Yeah, for the
yeah, we
most
talked
part,
about that
yes.
earlier.
Yeah, that's what they do for the most part. But like at the same time, I feel like a lot of these guys are trying to implement these services where it's not really necessary.
And that's
Like
why I'm
for
so
them to
on the
stand on
fence
their
about
own,
it.
should say.
That's why I'm so on the fence about it. I understand the logic of bringing in monthly revenue like that. I understand it, but I just don't know if this is the way.
Mhm.
I just
See,
don't. Yeah.
and my question is this, right? Like when you talk about the subscription services, even with Game Pass, like a thing that I hear people doing all the time, and it's starting to bite Game Pass in the ass. I would not be surprised if it bites Ubisoft in the ass. Is that like, for example, Hellblade: Senua's Saga comes out Tuesday. There's been no promo there. We're going to talk about that in a little bit when
Oh,
we
we're
talk about
definitely
something
gonna talk about
Activision's up
that.
to.
Hmm.
Yeah, and I'm excited to talk about that. But I'll tell you what I'm doing. I've not had Game Pass for 6 months, but I'll be subscribing on Tuesday, and I will subscribe for a month because that game is 8 hours, and I'll beat it in a day, and then I'm gone. I think when you do the subscription service and you don't lock people into 3 month bits, 6 month bits, or year bits, you just put yourself at a huge position to get screwed because you might be selling your game at full price. But if I just subscribe to your subscription service for a month and do everything in the game I want to, why would I stay subscribed? So I
The
don't
one
know.
comment that I'm going to say about that, Maury, is I don't think something like that can exist when Steam exists. Because Steam is the exact opposite of what we've been talking about. So you buy the game, you play the game, and you either refund it or you gift it. You do whatever. You know what I mean? Like when something like Steam exists, I just don't know if any other model can even thrive. Because Steam is great. And say what you want about PC gaming, Steam does it right. You know what I mean? It's super accessible. There's a huge library of games. You can download them and install them to your will. You can rate them. You have community access right there. There's a lot that Steam does right. And yeah, how is any other model supposed to exist when that exists?
Mm.
But I don't know.
All right, so now we are about to hit our rapid fire section. I need to work on my jingles. Heartless, remind me in the week this week, please. I'm gonna make these jingles. We need our rapid fire jingles and we need rumor mill jingle. I'm gonna make them. I promise. I will. But yeah, so we're now at our rapid fire section, which is an idea brought to us by Germ. Shout out to Germ. And this
A
is where
couple of
we'll be
quick
talking
stories.
about bite-sized news that we might not spend much time on, but we're just gonna bring them to your attention. Just kind of put them on your radar a little bit. Jerem, you want to start with the first one since this is your baby?
So Activision is in the news, and actually, it's positive news this time.
Oh, really? Oh,
uh,
really?
uh, Activision has opened up a new studio in Poland named Elsewhere Entertainment. They are working on an unannounced new IP. No
Mm.
other information about it yet. But the staff that has been acquired for this developer so far, they've worked on The Last of Us, Uncharted series, Destiny, and Cyberpunk. So could it be another Call of Duty? Could it be a whole new IP
If
as a
it's
whole?
another Call
No
of Duty,
one
just shut down studio. I'm sorry.
knows. But I think that's kind of cool, and especially in the name of announcements where Microsoft's been closing studios, they actually opened another one. So I don't
Mhm.
know. It's kind of
I
it's kind
want
of encouraging news and also kind of
Yes, but
interesting news.
like a lot of those people are gone. I wonder if how many of those people did they take from those studios that were closed and kind of like folded them into this new studio, or are they hiring just like new people altogether?
I don't
That's a
know.
question.
Since it's a Polish studio, right away that points to me it's probably going to be some kind of war game. It seems like that's what European games tend to always be, right?
War game.
Some kind of war-based game of some kind, you know.
Honestly, bro, I'm over it. Give me something new. But Elsewhere, that's actually a pretty interesting name as well.
Mhm.
But if they're working on it might be a AAA franchise because given the pedigree of the people that they have on board so far, I would hope that there would be going back to form. Like feel like people don't even realize Activision made some good games back in the day, bro.
They still make
Right?
bangers. They're just a money-hungry
Bro,
company, you know.
Activision and Ravensoft. I don't know if you guys know that Activision was Ravensoft was a subsidiary of Activision, which they worked on X-Men Origins Wolverine, which is one of the quintessential Wolverine game. Let's just keep it a buck. X-Men Origins Wolverine is the quintessential Wolverine game. We haven't seen any news from the new Wolverine game, and I'm pretty sure they're gonna borrow a lot of the elements from that game. I'm not asking anybody. I can almost promise that, bro. One, the healing factor for that game was insane. Insane.
Yeah.
The game was dope. The blood, the violence, the gore, everything about that Wolverine, it made you feel like Wolverine. So I hope they borrow from that game.
And if you
Then
guys
they have
remember,
X-Men Legends, also Ravensoft worked on that
Yeah.
game as well. They've worked
My
on so many damn good games, and now Ravensoft is just churning out fucking Call of Duty games every fucking year. Bro, if you go to the Ravensoft website right now, it's nothing but Call of Duty, Call of Duty, Call of Duty, Call of Duty. I'm so sick of it, bro. I'm over it.
and if you guys remember, Activision brought us Spider-Man. You know, some of the greatest,
Yes.
arguably some of the greatest
Yes.
Spider-Man games ever.
The first
so-
the first Spider-Man 2. This is what I'm gonna call it. That was also the that's what changed the game for Spider-Man games moving forward. The first
Changed-
open world Spider-Man game was Spider-Man 2, the movie tie-in, which I also did a mini documentary about. Yeah, go check out the YouTube channel. Shameless plug. But yo, that game was
years
also
ago,
dope
huh?
as shit.
Well, this is the first time I've heard anyone be a hopeless romantic for Activision. It's refreshing, Cash.
No, but what I'm saying is I'm pissed off because they definitely had the caliber to do that shit. And all they did nowadays is just they became a Call of Duty factory, bro.
Yeah. May I ask you, Moria, what are some of your Activision memories? Like any game that's been made by Activision, what are some of your greatest memories from them, if you have?
That was
any?
before they got bought. Yeah, but still.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think the one that sticks out to me the heaviest, if I'm not mistaken, let me make sure. Hold on, I don't even want to say it. I don't even want to say it without being
I'm
wrong. Hold on,
expecting you
hold
to
on.
say Tony Hawk, but
Yeah, yeah.
Tony Hawk is your favorite?
Yeah. And
Yeah, I
a
used
lot
to
of
love
us
Tony
remember
Hawk.
Tony Hawk very fondly when we were kids.
Yeah, I used to love Tony Hawk.
Tony Hawk was
Spider-Man
great.
in that.
I
Awesome.
love Tony
For
Hawk as a
me,
kid.
Yeah. You know how much money that man made off that game?
hmm
It's crazy, bro.
And then I'm not sure if Rayman. No, Rayman is a Ubisoft property.
No, your
right?
Rayman is Ubisoft.
Ubisoft, yeah, okay.
Dude, Guitar Hero.
Oh, yeah.
Guitar
Oh,
Hero.
Like
wow.
that's my most
Yeah.
fond memory from Activision. That's my childhood. Like that's crazy that went away. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I think they were trying to bring it back, but I don't know how far that's gonna go.
Mm.
Like I
And,
feel like
do
a
we
lot of
think
games that found success back in the day. DJ Hero 2 was dope, yeah. I feel like a lot of games that found success back in the day. I don't know how successful it will be in today's like
Part
generation.
of that might be why hardware sales are struggling. Because remember, during that age, you had to buy special equipment
Bro,
just to play these games.
yeah.
Those days are over. You know,
Mhm.
outside
I'll-
of fighting games and running an arcade stick or whatever. You know.
Mhm. A lot of that era, a lot of that generation in gaming was very experimental. Like, bro, it's because of that era we were able to get Def Jam Fat for NY, and I'll never stop bigging up that video game. It was because of that era we got a fighting game based on hip hop characters. You know how fucking dope that is. You know how insane that is.
Too much licensing in today's world.
I
No,
never
they
liked
can't.
this
It
game.
can't happen now. That's what I'm saying. You know how many legwork they would have to do. You know, that's the reason why we haven't seen a new one. So, bro, I don't know. I
but
miss
for
that
me,
era in video
definitely,
games, bro.
Spider-Man 2 and Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions would probably be, and X-Men
Hold up.
Legends.
Pause for a
would be
second.
the high points me, Activision wise.
Pause.
For
Juju
sure.
in the chat said he worked on Def Jam icons. I went too
No.
far with the building with the but yeah. They definitely. I did not like the director of that game. I'm still not a fan. He was also one of the guys who were working on the Xbox Connect. He was working on the Connect as well. Is it Kuno Sonata? Bro, I despise that man. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I just hate him. I'm sorry. He messed up Def Jam, and I don't know what he was doing with the Connect. But anyways, moving on.
So yeah, keep an eye out for future news on what that IP is gonna be.
Okay. So another one, Grand Theft Auto officially has not an official release date, but we know when to expect it, which is going to be fall 2025. They dropped that recently. I think it was last week. Was it Wednesday? Wednesday, Thursday?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that is going to be an insane game. I know that for a fact. Like I said before, that's probably the only game I'd probably spend $120 on. I'm waiting for Heartless to have a conniption.
I'm already having it. $120.
I
I know
we
what
were
I'm gonna get.
discussing, 280 for Assassin's Creed Special Edition. They could easily probably charge $500 for like some kind of really cool physical version of Grand Theft Auto. Watch $399. That's my prediction.
Bro.
That's my
I'ma have to
prediction.
dump this whole
$399.
career. I can't. I have priced my. They've priced me out of this career. I can't be a gamer.
Bro.
That's my
This man
prediction.
said
You guys
$500
can
is
quote-
wild.
I want
$500
everyone to
game is
quote me.
wild.
When that game comes out, I'm quoting it. There's gonna be some physical collector edition of Grand Theft Auto 6. It's gonna be $399.
Hold on,
That's my
hold on.
number. That's my
Gaming
number
news.
that I'm
N2
calling.
Alive.
Oh my God.
Is what you're saying true?
What?
What?
Was he saying?
People are playing Akuma right now online.
Yeah, I saw.
No. He's
I
not out till the
saw.
22nd.
Playing
Oh,
using
early.
Akuma last night.
He's not out
Maximilian
till the
was using
22nd.
Akuma last night.
Are you using a jailbroke game?
No, but it's Maximilian, bro. Maximilian, dude, is the biggest fighting game content creator in the world.
Yeah. The game's not out. He's not out though till the 22nd.
See,
Nice.
and two just said it.
Oh,
Maximilian, dude, is
Capcom
playing right now.
creators.
Exactly. Yo, this man has a crazy combo with Akuma, by the way. Separate and apart from that, I saw a 70% hit combo from Akuma with a full bar.
Capcom creators, blessed.
Bro.
That's
Heartless,
crazy.
let's get you on that list. We'll make you. A
Oh,
Capcom
he's
creator.
gonna get there. Heartless is gonna get there. I have no doubt in that.
So
I
more
can't
news out of
play
Grand Theft Auto
Akuma.
6. So the game is set to have fall of 2025 release date. So here is some of the real. Okay, I'm gonna ask you, Heartless. What do you predict Grand Theft Auto 5 sales have been through the lifetime of the game? What's the lifetime sales?
You said it earlier in the
I was
podcast.
trying to.
I said it earlier.
We said this. I was trying to say this earlier.
Yeah.
For those who don't know, Grand Theft Auto is the highest selling piece of media of all time. Grand Theft Auto 5 is 200 million copies. It has outsold every album, every movie. It has outsold Michael Jackson. Like that.
Is
it
Taylor
outsold
Swift number 2 on
everything
that
else.
list?
The number 2 on that list is not even close.
Wow.
It's crazy.
Jesus.
Was it Rockstar put out projections on what they expect Grand Theft Auto 6 to make for them, and they are expecting it to make in just release, the first quarter of release, $5.55 billion to $5.65 billion.
Gosh.
That's what they're projecting. Granted, that's
So-
projection.
so
it
you
could
know what's
easily fall
crazy
short
about
of
that?
But still, no, that's what they're projecting.
Well, you know what's crazy about that? If it goes below that, they will consider it a failure, which is fucking insane to me.
Just like Square Enix, it feels like that's probably what they did. Too high projections. They put too much
Exactly.
money
And I
into
feel
it.
like that's what they're using to gauge whether their games are successful or not, which is stupid.
What else has Rockstar made besides Grand Theft Auto in the last?
Bully,
Red
they
Dead.
made the Red Dead.
Red
They
Dead.
also did the last Max Payne. What else?
Rocksteady is a
there's
separate
another
thing,
game.
right?
Huh?
Rocksteady is a whole nother thing, right? They're not.
Yeah, Rocksteady
Yes.
made
Yeah.
Batman.
Yeah, but that's a whole different studio. Right?
Yeah, they made Suicide
Yes,
Squad. Thanks a
yes.
lot, Germ. Fuck, I didn't want to say this on the podcast, and now
But you
you,
could
you
have
brought
said
it up.
Batman. You could have said Batman. Why you
But
have to
but
instantly go
how
for
am I
Suicide
gonna say
Squad?
Batman and not say the other thing?
I think Germ baited you, bro. I think that was
That's
just
exactly
bait.
what he did.
I was,
That's
you
exactly
could have
what he
said
did.
Batman. You went that way. I didn't make you go nowhere. um, okay, but yeah, they've been milking. That's their cash cow. They've been milking that one for a long time now.
Yeah, they made Midnight Club too. That's right. We haven't seen an addition to Midnight Club in a long time either. But I don't think Rocksteady. I don't think Rockstar is going back down that path. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
They know
I'm
what
gonna
their
make-
money cows. They know what their cash cows are, and they're just going to focus on that, which is
I'm gonna
going
make
to
some
be
solid predictions right
Grand
now.
Theft and Red Dead.
There's going to be a collector's edition, physical collection edition of this game. It's going to be $399, and this game is going to sell 25 million copies in 1 year.
Jeez.
My prediction. You can quote me. You can clip that part and quote me.
No, I really feel like Grand Theft is definitely gonna, bro. Let me look at how many views the trailer had on YouTube in like 24 hours. I don't remember how much, but let's look at what it's
Didn't
at
it
now.
break the internet? Didn't YouTube have to didn't it crash? Or
Yeah.
I remember, or maybe that was Avengers. I don't remember.
No, it was YouTube. This fucking bro. I'm sorry, language, but this video, this YouTube video has 191 million views.
Gosh.
Rockstar made
Almost
money
a
off the
million
trailer.
views.
Let's stop for a second and think about that. Rockstar made money off the trailer of Grand Theft Auto 6, bro. Think about that. Think about that for a second.
Damn.
Yeah.
They
Probably the
made
most-
money off just the trailer. The game's not out yet. 191 million views. I wonder how much that is.
You
How
know,
much is
I'm gonna
that?
find out for us
probably
right
the
now.
most viral videos of all time. Probably the top 10 most viral videos of all time.
I want to know how much it
Probably
made.
for that
That's what
combined.
I want to know, please. Heartless is about to figure it out.
150 million views will make you about, according to this, $97,000.
$97,000.
Wow.
According to the first answer I'm seeing.
I think it
Times
depends on also the niche.
How many ads you put in it?
How many ads, and it depends on the niche. Also depends on the niche, but damn. Which
you
was
imagine how
in-game
much money
cinematic, not
YouTube
just
sells?
cinematic. I know, I definitely know it was in-game cinematic, but bro, it's still insane to think about, bro. This trailer has 191 million views.
Think about all the hype that is surrounding that game too, and we haven't gotten any gameplay on it. There's
No.
been zero gameplay shown.
Zero
right?
Do
gameplay,
we?
but
I gotta hear this. I
Crazy.
gotta hear this. I gotta hear everybody's take. Do we see GTA 6 gameplay at Summer's Game Fest this year?
probably
think it's
chances are
likely,
it might
yeah.
it might
Hope so.
happen.
It could
It's
be
very
at the
possible.
Xbox.
Because
We
if
could
they're
also
gonna
see
make
it
an
at the
announcement
Xbox
like that for
today.
next year, chances are they'll show a gameplay trailer. Plus the
Hmm.
gameplay got leaked last year anyways, so
And
Yeah.
let's not forget about Xbox Showcase next month. There's a chance we might get something there too. It's a chance.
I'm gonna be
Yeah.
streaming the Xbox Showcase as well, so y'all can pop up. We can make it a watch party. Like I told you guys, bro, we can do this. We can make it a watch party, bro, and we can grade it. What's good, what's not, and we can still talk about it on the podcast on Sunday. Shit.
Put GTA 5 right
Mhm.
up there with Street Fighter 2, with just like games that are just timeless. You know, people will be playing Grand Theft Auto 5 when GTA 10 comes out. People will still be playing GTA 5. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's just timeless. People will play that forever.
Yep. But yeah, all right. Now it's time for our rumor mill, guys. So that's pretty much it for our rapid fire. That wasn't rapid fire. We need to work on the
What do
rapid
you think
on
of
that
that
fire.
segment? Was it a success,
Uh-huh.
Dash? Do you think that was a successful segment? What do you think?
No, I like that. I did like that
Yeah,
because
that's cool.
we didn't really stay that long on it, even though we really got caught up on the whole Grand Theft situation. But yeah, for the most part, I did like that part. Chat, if you like that section, the whole rapid fire section, put 1 in the chat. 2, no. You know, we can get you because at the end of the day, it's for the viewers as well. So if you guys like that segment, 1, there we go. We get 1s. We're getting 1s. I'll put a 1
All
too.
I
I
need
liked
is
it. I was a viewer as well. I was here.
All we need is one
Um,
validation. We're good to go.
Bello did a 1. There we go. We got it. So now we're on the rumor mill. So one of the rumors is that Microsoft they're discussing adding the next Call of Duty to Game Pass via Wall Street Journal report. What are your thoughts about this whole situation? I know Maury had thoughts about this.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Chat, hype me up. Hashtag best substitute of all time. I definitely have thoughts on this story. Yeah, I think this was their only option because it sounds like they are coming to Game Pass. It sounds like Call of Duty's coming day and date. And I think this was their only option. You know, had they excluded Call of Duty from their day and date promise from first party studios, they would have lost so much more trust in the community than they already have. And I think that decision ultimately would have killed their brand. But I think they're dying regardless. Had they not put Call of Duty on Game Pass, it would have left the floor open for Microsoft or Xbox to decide on other first-party titles not coming to the subscription service, and that's kind of the whole promise of the subscription service. If this happens, I believe that we will see a price increase on Game Pass because I'm not understanding how any of this is financially feasible.
Yeah, that's been the main criticism we read in this article is
Yep.
they think that it's not going to make up charging $70 for the game.
There's no
gonna be a
shot.
financial gap there. At least
See,
that's what these articles are saying.
and this is my one thing about that, Germ, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, but this is the thing I've been thinking about all week because I've been saying that I'm like they're just cut out half their buying base. Obviously, it's not half. You know, there's not as many Xboxes as there are PlayStations or whatever. But my question is this, right? I think 70% of people I know that play Call of Duty maybe play two other games besides Call of Duty, like maybe Madden and 2K. 70% of people I know that play COD is their one game. So when the next Call of Duty comes out and players have that choice of do I subscribe to Game Pass where I'm going to end up spending 3 times what the game is worth in a year's subscription to Game Pass, or just fork over the $70 at launch.
I also
The
don't think
decision
it's gonna
seems pretty
hurt Call of
simple.
Duty sales as well. I don't think it will.
Well, let's look at
Yeah.
that from an analytical perspective. Like, okay, like what you were saying, Maury. If you are in a situation where, say, you have both consoles, and you are going to decide what you're going to play Call of Duty on, you can either just get it included in your Game Pass. Yeah, I'm just going to go with that, or pay $70 to play it on PlayStation. But decision
Right.
easy. Decision is
Right.
simple. You know.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
you also have to look at it from this standpoint as well. Not everybody's gonna have multiple consoles, so it's gonna feel like Xbox people are winning. And then remember, either way, Microsoft is still getting paid because they own the IP now, so they're gonna get
Yeah.
paid.
And as long as the game stays
Multi-platform.
cross-platform,
There's no way they're gonna make it otherwise because that's killing the business.
as long as the game stays cross-play across all systems, there's no reason that it would really hurt, you know, because PlayStation will carry. Well, it's kind of contradictory based on what we were saying about Square Enix earlier. There's not enough consoles out there to cover game costs, but I don't know. Call of Duty, I think they're reason assets. So
Yeah.
I don't think that applies here, but PlayStation's got the.
Heartless, what do you think about the situation?
I think that gaming obviously everyone's struggling to come up with a way to become more profitable. I think Cash, what you said about Microsoft getting paid anyways, that's a really good point. They own Activision, so whether the game sells or they got people on Xbox Gamepass, they're making money.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that we are gonna see kind of like a shift in how games are making their money soon, and we're gonna see a lot of different ideas and strategies and whatnot. Hey, who knows? We might even soon see games having free versions, but just have advertisements in them. And
Yeah,
if
we
you want to
talked
buy
about
the
that
free version of
Oh,
the
please
game,
don't, because
Who knows?
EA already is
Yeah.
talking
Who
about doing that
knows?
shit.
who knows? You never know. But like, think about it though. Like, if a game across its lifespan has sold like, let's say 5 million copies, but there's a ton of people that have the free version of the game, and there's a battle pass, so there's sales in there and whatnot, and then the company's making money. Everyone has access to the game. Who's to complain? They don't make the paid version of the game $70. Keeps games at a fair price. I don't know.
I think there's one thing we may have all overlooked or forgotten to bring into that conversation about gaming publishers and where money comes from in games, I think there's a few companies that if they chose to enter the chat when it comes to making games, and I'm looking at you, Amazon.
Hmm.
If they came in and started making games, yeah, ads are gonna come into our games, and we're not gonna be able to fight it. You know, it's like so that's like
It
probably
just
the
seems like the
doomsday
theme.
scenario. Companies like
That's where
those,
we're
if they
headed, though.
become game
That's
publishers, oh my
definitely.
god,
They're gonna.
yeah.
They're continuously trying to find ways to milk their current player base.
I think that's what we should be the most worried of. If a company like Amazon, company like Coca-Cola, company like whatever company like that, if they start making games, we should be scared. You know?
See,
Uh,
and this is what's so funny. I keep seeing these little clips on Twitter this week where it'll be like a really emotional moment in a game, like a character death, and then it just cuts and it just shows the Burger King ad, Whopper, Whopper, Junior Whopper, and I'm like, dude, I would scream, cuss, throw my controller across the room. Like if I experienced that, like I just don't think that's like manageable. I just don't think that's manageable. I don't think we as a community would accept it. I don't know.
I don't think
I
that's
don't know.
where we will be seeing the ads, though. I think like you hit the
well,
start
I agree
menu
with what you were
and have
saying,
the
Maury.
screen
Pause
will be consumed by
screen.
an ad.
Pause
We as a
screen.
community
Yeah.
won't accept it, but it may be a situation where it may be forced on us, and we may have no choice. You know
This
what I'm
is how I
saying?
look at it.
That's what I don't want to have
Yeah,
happen.
the
You know?
first one that happened, it's gonna cause outrage. The second one
Yep.
that happens, people are just gonna just adopt to it, just like they did with DLCs, just like they
Mm.
did with every other content. With that I feel like that's what it's gonna be. It's the
Yeah.
You're
first
not
one. The
wrong.
first one is gonna
Kind
be
of like
outrage,
it's kind
and
of like
then
paying taxes. You just do it because you have no choice. You know what I'm
you
saying?
do have a choice,
It
but you
may
just don't want to
reach
be.
that point.
It's that FOMO. They're banking on FOMO because
Mm.
there are
We
people
gotta
who are
study.
going to pay it for it.
We gotta study Grand Theft Auto and Fortnite.
Yeah. They're the
Game-
two business
it
models that have been
seems-
the most successful the last 20, 25 years.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah, and it seems like the common trend of what we talk about week after week after week after week is how can game companies make more money?
Yeah, and that's what they're constantly
Mm.
looking at. They're trying to figure out
Well,
ways to make more
I
money.
disagree with what you're. That's just for that sentence alone, Heartless. As yes, we want game developers to make money, but we want the industry
they
to be
need to make
healthy.
money.
We
They're
want
laying
it to
people
be
off.
healthy. You know, we want it to be healthy.
they
We
need
don't
to
want
make
people.
money.
Yeah, that's why.
Yeah,
That's what we want.
but
to
also
to
they
be
need to learn how to manage their own budgets, though, Jerm. That's the
Yeah.
other thing because I feel like a lot of these companies are dumping money into a game just to get. And I keep saying this: a lot of these games they'll call them AAA games, but when you get them and when you play them and you experience it for yourself, it's not a AAA experience. So why is it being labeled a AAA game? Remember, what is considered a AAA game? A game with a very big budget, massive budget. So they will bloat the budget for a lot of these games just to sport that AAA banner.
Can we agree that the two buzzwords in gaming are live service and AAA games? Those are the
No,
two
quadruple A.
buzzwords in today's world. The AAA,
Yes.
AAA
Qua-
game and live
No,
service.
no, no,
Cash-
no, no, no.
Cash gets stolen bones back
Quadruple A
up
is
here.
a trigger word. It's
Huh?
a literal trigger word.
Say again.
That's
Say
what I
again.
mean. They're
I said, get
buzzwords.
stolen
Live
bones back up on
service.
the screen. I want to
And
see some quadruple A gameplay.
And apparently
AAA
it's
is
not
the
the only one. I
buzzword.
think there's another
Quadruple A
quadruple A
is-
game. I don't
Hey,
remember what it was.
do any of us even really know what quadruple A gameplay even
Heartless broke it
means?
down for me, but I just
No.
don't remember.
Know what that even
He
means.
looked it up on one of the previous pods.
But it's subjective. You know what I mean? Like I could enjoy a game and think it's AAA.
He said it's something
experience, and
about
someone else
jargon
could
about
disagree.
non-players, about the industry signaling non-players to get hype about some shit. I don't remember, but it's really to sound good for investors. That's really what it is.
Like let's use Tekken versus Street Fighter as an example. Like I like Tek. I don't really enjoy Tekken. Let's just put it out there. That gameplay is really hard for me. But other people find it a AAA experience. But I enjoy Street Fighter, and other people don't enjoy Street Fighter as a AAA experience. You know, so you know.
Hold up,
like,
stop for a
it's
second.
all
I gotta
subjective. It's all
highlight this.
subjective.
Lord Hades says quadruple A gotta have 2B jumping out the screen and twerking on me, bro.
Oh man.
Unreal. By the way, the other
Let's,
quadruple.
let's put that into Stellar Blade immediately.
Yeah, Maury, what was
yeah,
that?
sign me up.
What
No,
was
I was
that?
gonna say the other quadruple quadruple A game you were mentioning. It was I remembered what it was. It was the Beyond Good and Evil sequel. That was the other quadruple A
Yes.
game. They called it
Yes.
quadruple A.
Yes.
So
And we
funny.
still haven't seen not even gameplay for Beyond Good and Evil 2, which is crazy to me.
Cash, we never will. Cash, we never will.
I don't
You
think
heard
it
it here
will.
first on Gamer Actual. You never will.
Yeah, and how many decades now we've been asking for Fallout, Half-Life 3? Half-Life 3 is never gonna happen. You know, it's very sad. Breaks my heart every time I talk about it. But literally, it's
bro.
been 30 plus years. Like, what the fuck? But anyway.
All right, Jerem, what's the next one for the rumor mill?
Rumor mill was we got so there is leaks online of a new Sony is cooking up a new successor to the PSP. The rumors claim a new PlayStation handheld is on the way. They say it's going to play PlayStation 4 games in full 4K, and Sony's patents hint at cloud gaming features for seamless gameplay across devices. Kind of like that thing the Portal that they put out, but I guess it's actually going to be something
Portal's
you can take out
garbage.
of your house.
I'm sorry.
You know?
PlayStation Portal's garbage.
Yeah, I think this is kind of exciting. It's kind of cool to get another PSP, but to be honest, I think I would prefer Steam Deck more because of the more options that it has. But
I agree. I think like why do we need this if we already have a Steam Deck?
yeah,
See, and this is my thing. All right, I think this is cheeks. All right, this sucks. Sony has lost it, and this is my opinion. Right, if this handheld at best is 2 to 3 years away, that means that we've reached the end of the PS5's life cycle. We're on the heels of the PlayStation 6, and my question is, in 3 years, why am I going to want a handheld to play PlayStation 4 games? I can't figure it out. See, I think that they understand that handheld has a place in the market right now because you look at the Switch, right? But the whole advantage of the Switch is that though it's graphically less powerful than any other console, right? I put it in the dock and then I pick it up, and the game I was just playing in the dock as a home console, I can now play as a handheld game. But if you're not going to be bringing games day and date to that, and it's not possible, so that's why I don't think it's very viable. If you're not going to be bringing games day and date to that like handheld, I don't understand like the appeal. I don't understand what you're trying to sell me on. So for me, I've struggled with it. I've struggled with this.
Brings up a really good point here in the chat. Is I think I agree with what you were saying about it's too little, too late, or if it's that far off, like what's the point?
Yeah.
But it's gonna really come down to price. Yeah, because Nintendo has always undercut everyone else in terms of price. So, yeah, if that's what if they're trying to take Nintendo's market share, not gonna happen. Because Nintendo will forever be the affordable option, and plus it has Mario. So, you know, I think it really comes down to that. And Sony has never been cheap with their stuff; it's always been expensive. So,
Cash,
yeah.
I'm curious, Cash. Do you think there's room in the market in 2 to 3 years for a PlayStation handheld that plays PlayStation 4 titles? Do you think people want
Does
that?
it play PlayStation 5?
No, it's only PS4. They're saying it's only going to play PlayStation 4 titles.
Then what's the point?
We don't need that shit.
No, you don't need that. We definitely don't need that shit. What's the point?
For me, like I agree with it. There's a few classics that I would want to go back and visit. But yeah, I would from an experience perspective, I would prefer to play them on my giant HD television with my actual controller because it's the all-around experience, you know. I don't know. The screens are too small on handhelds to really enjoy fully immersive games. They just are. So I think that's a little bit of a disconnect right there. Think about playing Resident Evil 4 or on a handheld. It wouldn't be the same. It wouldn't hit the same. It wouldn't, because it's not scary. Because you're out and about. You have to be aware of your surroundings. You're not immersed. I don't know.
All right, let's go ahead.
Do we think all handheld in the future should have a docking system which allows you to play on the main?
That would be
whether it's
so.
Sony.
Keep going.
Yeah.
Whether it's Sony, Nintendo, whoever it is, if you're making a handheld, there should be a dock which lets you play it on your monitor or whatever it is.
I think that would be them. That would be a sign of signaling war against Nintendo at that point.
I mean, but
I
the
think
Steam
it's
Deck
just
did
standard
it.
technology.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but that's what the Steam Deck wants to do, though. The Steam Deck wants to go after Nintendo market.
Why are companies so afraid to attack Nintendo?
It just
Seriously.
One of the pitfalls of handheld gaming is you are limited to a small screen, and you don't get the full immersiveness that you get off of a monitor or a TV.
Mhm.
Well, Nintendo solved that problem, and it's just through a technological barrier, make a dock. I don't see why any other handheld system would not follow suit. I
Does
don't think that
Nintendo
that
have
is
That's a great
patent on
idea.
this?
exclusive thing.
Is that why we haven't seen it by any other company? Do they have a patent on this interface or something? Because
That's the question. Do they have a patent on the idea? I don't know if you can have a patent on this, but do they have a patent on the idea
They can.
that your system go? No, can you have a patent on an idea, or can you only have a patent on a specific technology?
I think the
And like, I don't
design
think
that
they're
they have,
using
they can have
anything.
a patent
you
on
can't
that.
patent the idea necessarily,
Not the
but you
idea,
can
but the
patent
design. They
the
can
design and
they can patent the
interface to
design.
get it there. You know,
Yeah,
you
it
can
is
put
theirs.
But
a
they're
patent on
not. They're
that.
not the first dock. They're not the first dock.
So
To like dock on a
look at even,
TV.
like,
Not that I
wireless
recall. I don't
charging.
know.
because the Steam Deck wouldn't exist if Nintendo had a patent on that. You know.
Yeah, I get what you're
So I
saying.
don't think Nintendo does. I don't think they do. So there's no reason to
Look
not
at-
do it.
Mm-hmm.
Prez in the chat is saying Steam Deck, ROG Ally, and he's saying it's common technology now, standard on most handhelds to date. I would imagine going forward in the future, if I'm buying a Sony handheld device, I should definitely be able to go. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's.
Put it on a
I
dock
think
and
it's
play
I think what you're saying, Heartless. It's the state of the industry. Nintendo has made it the
It
state
is.
of the
I don't.
industry now,
What do you
and
think?
there's no
But you
reason to
think
not do it.
Sony would do that though? I don't think just because they want you to basically buy both consoles, the handheld and a PS5 or whatever that console is gonna be at the time. I don't think they would make a docking system.
Mhm.
I don't know.
That's my
I
opinion.
would not make a handheld gaming device. Bro, the one thing I love about the Switch is that I can play it at work and
Right,
go
bro, I can
home,
play
slap
wherever,
it on.
wherever. I love
What-
this thing, bro.
So if you don't play platformers, what do you play on your Switch, Heartless?
Pokemon.
And he plays
Pokemon,
he
okay.
plays Pokemon and he play. Yo, so you wouldn't play Metroid Dread?
Smash. Pokemon and Smash.
You have a white one?
Yeah.
I love the black one.
Hmm.
I didn't pay
So
for this. So
You wouldn't
it-
play Dread, Heartless?
I don't know.
You can even you can play that. So pick
I'm gonna
one.
break this down for you guys.
Pick one.
No, I'm just gonna break down for you my mentality as a gamer. Okay.
Mhm.
If I'm at home, I am going to want to play one of my, let's quote unquote, AAA games. One of my big games. You know, one of the games that I'm excited for. My Elden Ring. My Spider-Man. Not really Spider-Man. My Street Fighter. One of my fighting games. Something that is gonna get me what I like, my hundreds or thousands of hours of gameplay. My first-person shooters. I like to work on games that I can continually up my craft, like an Overwatch, working on my Ana gameplay, stuff like that. That's why I dump a lot of hours into games. If I'm on the road, I'm gonna play my handheld games. I'm gonna play something like Pokemon. I'm gonna play Smash, something like that. And if I were to play a platformer, I would like it to cost me about $20. I'm not gonna pay $60 for a game I can only go left to right.
we're online there, Heartless, with the portable gaming. I'm not gonna play anything that requires me to invest tons of hours into to get good at on a Switch.
Yeah.
It's just gonna be something I can bang a couple levels out of real quick while I wait in line at the grocery store or whatever, you know. And yeah. So it's
I love the
bite-sized
Switch.
gaming. I'll call it that. Bite-sized gaming.
Bro, the
you
fact
know?
that I get access to like the Game Boy Advance titles, Super Nintendo titles, I have all of them.
Yep.
Because right now I'm about to
That's
play Metroid, Metroid Fusion because I didn't get to beat it as a kid, and I just realized it got added on here, and I was like, oh shit, I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna play
I'm
it.
actually about to look up Metroid Dread.
You know what
right
makes
now
the
on-
Switch
Metroid
really,
Dread
really
is dope.
cool?
Like
so
cinematically, the
good.
game is awesome.
You know what makes the Switch ultimately like my go-to kind of to-go system is
Mhm.
I can press that button on the top. It doesn't matter where I am in the game. You matter if I'm in a cutscene in the middle of a boss battle, it
Mhm.
pauses the game.
Mhm.
I love that. You know,
Bro,
like it
Fire
doesn't matter.
Emblem's
I
on
get
here too.
someone if someone wants to talk to me while I'm in the middle of the game, I just press that button and I give them my full attention. And then I
Golden
go right
Sun is
back to
on
where I
here.
was. I love
Holy
that.
shit. I'm sorry, Jeremy. I'm
Oh.
getting a little excited now.
See,
Yoshi
that-
Island. I never got to play Yoshi Island 3. I'm gonna definitely play this shit. Oh damn. Warrior
Y'all,
War.
y'all
Oh,
said that
yeah.
you play. Y'all said that you guys play Switch titles for like easy accessibility.
Say again.
I think he may have lost him.
We just
I
lost
think he may
him.
have dropped out on accident.
You lost Maury? No.
Yeah,
I don't know what happened.
Hopefully he'll come back.
we
But
lost
he was
him
making a
in the
solid point there.
Discord.
Yeah, he's not even in the
He was-
Discord. I'll give him the badge back
do we
though.
um.
I'm not sure what
Yeah.
happened.
So, are we excited for a PlayStation Portable? For what Maury said, that I didn't really
I'm not
think of it
excited.
like that. That I think it's too behind the times, and it's
He said
not.
he's in the chat saying he got booted out.
Yeah. I don't know where the market is.
Yeah, come back, Maury. I'll pull
yeah,
you
come
back
back.
in.
Yeah. If you need to use the
I'm
what is
giving
it,
you the
web
badge so you
room?
can see the podcast.
Waiting room?
Thing. Give me a second. There he is. You can pull up directly in the podcast. Wait a minute. Where is it? I don't see him.
So I'm looking at this Metroid Dread game and like
It looks
it's
fine.
just
It's
not
cool.
for me. It's not for me. And you know, I'm a scumbag. It's kind of like hypocritical and ironic. I say I can't play a game that just goes from left to right, but I play 2D fighting games.
Yeah,
Which is
it's
like-
very
like the
confusing to
irony.
me, Heartless.
Yeah. Very confusing.
Maury, welcome
Sorry.
back.
And for the amount of that you jump with Jury, my friend, you should be right at home with platformers.
Oh my God.
You should be right at home.
I see. Yo, meet me in the streets, bro. Meet me in the streets. meet me.
I shouldn't be throwing no stones. My Marissa can't keep her feet on the ground, so. Okay. So there's rumors of a PlayStation Portable. We'll be keeping an eye on that, and hopefully there will be some actual solid news about it in the coming year. Are we ready to move on, Cash? Mari was in the middle of a point, so we want to make
Yeah,
sure.
Maury, what were you
Yeah,
saying before
yeah, let's
you
not
got
lose that. Let's not lose
yeeted?
Yeah, no, I was just saying in regards to Dread, you guys were saying that you guys use your Switch for like bite-sized games that you can play online. Dread had me sweating and crying, so I don't know what game you guys played, but that was not what I played. I was not playing that in line at the grocery store. I was on all fours in my living room crying. So that was me. So yeah, but no, that
But
was
still, you were able to pause it right in the middle of the action if you needed to, and come right back where you left off. That's what's
true.
beautiful about the Switch.
I do
That's
like
what's
that.
beautiful about it. You can't pause a Steam game sometimes, you know, and that's what I love about it.
Yeah,
I
but
agree.
yeah, I guess we can move on.
Do we want to go over episode what we're doing on next week, possibly, or at least put what our
I'm not
possible
really
next
sure.
episode
So
is? Or
yeah,
we wanna do
so
the affiliate
yeah, so a
first?
lot of things are going to be releasing next week. We can definitely, it will probably, there's a good chance it will be a part of the podcast next week, which is Akuma being released on the 22nd. Street Fighter Balance Patch is also going to be on their way. X Defiant is also something we're going to be playing Squad Night. So if y'all want to experience that, pull up on Saturday. It's free to play, by the way, for those who don't know. Multiverses is also going to be coming out, which is fucking crazy. So there are so many things that are coming out that we can look forward to. And predictions for the Xbox Showcase, which that's going to
Unless
be
there's
on
some
June.
solid news
That's
comes
for
out,
June.
yeah.
We may not touch on that just yet. I'm going to wait and see what this week looks like. But yeah. Yeah. But
in
yeah.
addition to any other news that may come up.
Yeah.
So
We usually let me just break down how we aggregate information about the podcast. We wait until probably Friday or Saturday to make sure we have enough of gaming news, like the biggest news that we're gonna cover, and then we kind of come up with our whole document. And
I can tell you guys the process that I do is I have a notepad on my phone, and when I see an interesting story that happens to pop up on any of my social medias, I copy and paste that link into this notepad, and then on Friday and Saturday morning, I go in and I look at all the news that's caught my attention, and then I sift through it and see what's actually worth talking about.
yeah, because
So,
go ahead, Jim.
yeah, that's the process. So,
All right, guys. So, what is your most anticipated game for this year? I'll start with Maury, then Germ, then Heartless. I don't think Heartless has the most. I think I feel like I can gauge what Heartless has, and I'll see how well I know Heartless by just what he has to say. Let's see. Maury, you go.
I love it. So for some reason, I thought I was doing 3. Am I doing 1?
Let's do one
Just
for the
say
sake
what's
of
on your
time.
mind. Say what's on your mind.
Yeah.
It could be 10 games if you want it to.
Oh
be.
no.
You
No.
No, we'd be here all day. Because I could just keep going. See, so for me, I think Summer Games Fest is going to change this because I'm waiting for like a big announcement. Right now I'm not too impressed with what I'm seeing coming up, but like I feel like Black Myth Wukong is really high on my list. I
They
think that's
just
my
dropped
most
the trailer for it
anticipated game.
today, by the way.
They did not. I didn't even
I
spot
swear
it.
to you, I forgot to mention it during the podcast, but yes, they did.
Oh my God. All right, I'm gonna check it out after. Cool.
I mean, we can check it out right now. Let's just split it up. Let's make it a reaction at the end right here.
Yeah, making a reaction video.
Let's
Just
do
to
it.
say, I'm keeping a record. I'm keeping a record of this. So we're writing it in the notes here.
Black Myth Wukong. Since it just dropped, like
Bro, I'm with Titus here.
well.
That's where my head's at. Elden Ring DLC.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. That's what I said. I know you.
I love that.
I fucking know you. I know you. I knew that was what he was gonna say.
Yeah, that's where my
What do you
head's at.
think my answer is gonna be, Cash?
I don't know. My Little Pony or some shit.
Definitely
Jerem
for
loves
me,
those like cutesy little games. Not necessarily My
yeah,
Little
man.
Pony, but you know exactly what I mean.
Hey, I like those bite-sized games. What can I say? For me, it's gonna be the 2XKO beta. It's not a game coming out, but I'm really, really interested in that beta.
All right,
I
here's the
have
trailer.
so many unanswered questions about that game that I really
Here's the
want
trailer.
to have answered.
It's
and I
gonna
think
be a
that's
rare
help.
occasion where we actually show, like, let you guys hear the sound.
This is awesome. Let's go.
Whoa.
It looks like Elden Ring, kind of.
Yeah, this is a straight up like Elden Ring situation. Fun fact,
This is.
Goku, the character Goku is based off this
Oh shit!
Yeah.
from mythology, yeah.
This is where Son Goku comes from.
That was cool.
This looks like it's gonna be
very,
nuts,
very,
bro.
Very Dark Souls-like gameplay inspired.
This looks crazy.
Sekiro. This is a lot like Sekiro so far.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That's why it's been so appealing to me. I'm a huge FromSoft guy, and it looks great.
Bro, I've been watching this game for like a couple of years, bro. My eyes have been on this game. I feel like had it released before Elden Ring, people would be talking about this more than they were talking about Elden Ring.
Yeah.
Because remember, it got announced before Elden Ring.
Yeah, it did.
I wonder what FromSoft's next move is gonna be. They got satisfied. They came out with Armored Core.
This
Now
is
they're
gonna
probably
be
satisfied
nuts,
with that.
bro.
Wonder what
Yes,
their next
bro.
move is gonna be.
Bro,
That's cool.
this is gonna
I'll
be
check that out.
nuts, bro. I'm looking forward
Yeah,
to it.
I'm geeked.
What about you,
Ozzy,
Cash?
it's
What's
gonna
your
be
most
epic.
anticipated game of the year?
Most anticipated game of the year. I don't really have one, to be honest with you guys. Honestly, the Outlaws. I'm actually looking forward to Outlaws because, and I've said this
What, the
before.
Star Wars
It's,
game?
yes, it's the closest thing we're gonna get to 1313. I don't know if you guys
Oh, the
remember.
Star Wars game?
Yes,
Star Wars
they were
Outlaws?
working before LucasArts got absorbed or bought by Disney. They were working on a game called Star Wars 1313. And it was basically a story about the underbelly of the Star Wars universe. 1313 is where all the ragtag, the bad guys go to hang out. All the roughnecks and the renegades go to hang out. That's where you would find Han Solo and those guys in
For
the
me,
Star Wars universe, right?
I said it in Hades stream, not yesterday, but maybe the day before. The
Yes,
more,
the scoundrels.
The less
Thank you,
Jedi,
ladies.
the less Jedis that are in Star Wars, the more I like it. You know?
All right, and
I
exactly,
just
there
don't-
was no Jedi's in Star Wars 1313. So this is reminding me so much of that, and I love it. And it was very cinematic. Yo, 1313 looked like Uncharted, bro. It was Uncharted levels of amazing. And I think this was this before Uncharted? I don't think so. I think this was after Uncharted. But it was definitely up there in terms of like scope. It was amazing, bro. I don't know if I can pull up a trailer if you guys want to see a trailer, but bro. We're almost
Pull
on.
it up.
We're almost at the end of the podcast, but
Hey, we're 30 minutes under what we normally are. I would call that a success. But,
30 minutes under what we normally are, but we're an hour over projections.
yeah,
Exactly.
we're hour over where Cash wants us to be. We're improving, guys. We're improving.
yes. There's also a game that we're gonna play tomorrow before we go into Resident Evil, which is Die by the Blade. We're gonna check it out because we didn't get to play it the other day. Star Wars 1313. This game was amazing, bro. Like, man.
Let me see. I'll look up what's coming out this year. See if anything jumps out at me.
Where is it? Why are you showing me Eclipse? I didn't ask you for Eclipse, Jackass.
Okay, so there's a System Shock remaster coming out. If you know, you know.
Oh, there it is. I found it. Found it. How long is it? 6 minutes. So we good. We're good. We're good.
Star Wars Hunters comes out in June.
Yep. I'm excited for that.
Watch this. Chat, check this out. This was 10 years ago, by the way.
I've seen some pretty sorry excuses for transports in my time.
I think this was impressive for 10 years ago.
I've ever set foot in.
I think so
I've
too.
seen worse. Hell, I've lived in worse.
But if it's so dangerous where we're going, why aren't we taking your ship to get there? I mean, is this thing even armed?
We needed something.
You know,
that's
another thing,
obvious, like a standard
games
cargo
used
ship.
to, they used to make characters, but
What was that,
now
Harless?
games used to make characters, but now they hire actors.
Yeah. This was an actor.
That's
These
gonna
were
be
actors.
another
Huh?
Silent Hill 2 remake is
Yeah.
it's unconfirmed release date, but it looks like it might be coming out this year if anyone's into
So I
that.
think you brought me along just to do your dirty work.
And
If you think this is
Splatoon
the dirty work, you
3.
better be ready for a wake-up call. It gets a lot dirtier when
How
we're
much
in
you
it.
guys think?
I
they'll
want
make
you
that
guys
Star
to
Wars
see
after
the
they make
actual
that?
gameplay when it starts.
Might as well see if there's any place more comfortable on this
I've
ride.
probably watched this trailer maybe 50 times. I'm so sad we never got to see this.
Down.
Bro.
The rings aren't on Coruscant. They're underneath it.
Look at that jawline on that guy.
Bro.
Yeah, but there's Star Wars has such a deep lore to it. It's like it has to be explored. I know Knights of the Old Republic explored a lot of the old lore. It would be great to explore more of what the universe was going through during the Darth Vader saga. You know what I'm saying? Just more stuff. And this is what I want to see. Or maybe right before Darth Vader came into power, or right after. I want to know more. I want to know more. You know? That's what makes Star Wars so beautiful. There's literally endless story. Just pick a storyline you want to explore and just run with it.
I want y'all to see this shit.
Star Wars.
I gotta go.
Star
We
Wars.
gotta go up the gameplay. I want y'all to see the gameplay. This is gameplay now.
This looks dope. For 10 years ago, this looks amazing.
This is gameplay, bro. You said Heartless 10 years ago, what?
For 10 years ago, this looks amazing.
Bro. And the game got canceled, bro. Watch this, watch this. Come here. Bro.
That's another thing that game companies, I feel like they do a lot. They start a game and then they put money into it and then they stop making it.
They stopped production. Like, why? Bro, this game
wasting
would
money.
have... I feel like this game would have sold.
Yeah, I agree.
Look at this
Look,
game,
bro.
bro. Like, look at the environment. Like, what's happening around them. This is what era? PS3 era, right?
This is very Mass Effect meets Star Wars.
Star
kinda gameplay,
Wars
right?
meets Uncharted, bro.
Uncharted. Yeah, it's even closer.
Yeah, Cash, this was PS3 generation. There's no reason it should have looked this good. I'm still baffled every time I watch it.
Bro. Like, they definitely drew inspiration from Uncharted. No question. but I don't mind because it was amazing, bro. And I feel like that's
And let's talk
you
the
can see
theatrical
some of this
experiences.
DNA in Jedi Survivor, the Jedi series.
Yeah.
You can
Remember like the
definitely some of the
theatrical
DNA.
experiences we were talking about with like the huge cinematic story and the graphics and that kind of stuff?
Mhm.
Uncharted did it right.
Yeah.
They used a lot of their game engine to make those experiences, you know? And I think that's what made those games really even better than what we when it made them everything we wanted, you know? And
And this
a lot of
entire team, I'm pretty sure, has moved on. So this game is definitely never gonna happen. Like I want you guys to see when they're like climbing and like all the dynamic stuff that's happening behind them and all this. Look at this shit.
yeah, that
This
is
is gameplay,
definitely
bro. This
exciting.
is gameplay. This is gameplay. 10-year-old game.
Takes me back to what I said about Metal Gear 4 earlier. That game was, I think probably Metal Gear 4 probably holds up to today's standards. It was so far ahead of its time, graphically wise and stuff.
Say again, Jerem.
Metal Gear 4, like Metal Gear. Think about how Metal Gear 4 looked when it came out. Like it was so far ahead of its time at the time, you know.
Well,
And
yo,
I
this was
think it
amazing. I'm
might
sorry.
hold up to today's standards too.
That was 1313, bro.
That's cool, man. That's a really cool
That was
trailer.
1313, bro. I am so disappointed at this game, but it's just because it's Disney bought them. That's the only reason why this game stopped production. Disney bought it.
Yeah, Lucas Arts closed, right? Just in general, the studio's gone, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Now they just license out the Star Wars property, so that's why EA has the
Well,
Jedi
remember,
Survivor
we went
series.
through a long period without any Star Wars games at all.
Hmm.
Like a long period. You know, there was a dry time for any Star Wars content in general until Disney Plus started making shows and stuff again and the sequel trilogy came around.
Right?
There was at least 15 years there was no Star Wars content at all.
Hmm.
Zero, you know?
But yeah, bro, that
Maybe
was
10
insane.
years.
All right, guys, this is
Between
the part
any
of the segment of the podcast where the homie Heartless gets to serenade y'all with some promotional material that will support.
this is the
Our
moment
This is
you
why I
podcast.
all
signed up for the podcast.
sign up
This is
for.
why I signed up for the podcast. Just trying to work on my voice acting, and not voice acting, more like my narrator voice. Nah, it's not even a narrator voice. Whatever it is, we're here to sell some products. Just kidding.
Some of us are just
We're
gifted
gonna
with
start
that
off with the affiliate
smooth
links.
voice.
Before I do that, I want to say thank you to everybody, especially Goot. Thank you for being here. Great energy, great takes. I think the chat loved you, and I hope to see you on here much more frequently. Cash, you're amazing, putting together an amazing production. Jerem, you're amazing. You do an amazing job just talking on the podcast and giving out takes and getting people talking. I love it. I love it. I love it. I hate that you want to send more money to these companies though. You got me scared for my wallet and my life.
You're
I
just
got, I
gonna have to
gotta,
be
I
more
gotta
selective,
rethink.
Artless, of the games you play. And you already only play
Yo,
like 3 games a
you
year,
guys
so it's not
wonder,
gonna hurt you that much. You
you
know?
guys wonder why I like games like Street Fighter so much. It's because you buy a game and it's like you will never master Street Fighter. You're gonna you will put in thousands of hours before you master Street Fighter, and at that point, the game is well worth your money. But anyways, off to these affiliate links. First one is gonna be for Origin PC. Are you guys trying to build the ultimate gaming PC? Then look no further than Origin PC. They're an award-winning PC building company, whether you're a gamer or a professional gamer. Origin PC has you covered. Check them out by clicking the link in the show notes or the description of this podcast. Also, this is an affiliate link, so any qualifying purchase will result in us getting a commission at no extra cost to you guys. That was flawless. To my own horn there.
Dope.
Um, Next one is GameFly. Looking for the ultimate gaming experience without breaking the bank? With GameFly, you can rent discs. Oh my God. Rent what? You can rent discs hassle free. Dive into unlimited gaming content and snag great deals on used games and movies. Use GameFly to check out games you're not so sure about. Once you decided, you can buy it outright at a discounted price or send it back with no problem. Want to pause your subscription? You can do that too at any time. GameFly makes it easy to check out games at your terms. Check out the affiliate link in the show notes to get started. Any qualifying purchase rules also no commission and no extra cost to you. That went
Heartless got
flawless.
stuck with
That
the
went
Google
flawless.
bug. He got stuck.
That went
It's
flawless,
not helping
okay?
because I'm freaking laughing too. My bad. Oh,
Great stuff. Great
shut up,
stuff.
Cash. You're
On to
supposed
the
to be a
next one.
professional.
We gotta change up the wording in that one. Anyways, on to the next one.
You
Fanatical.
know what?
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, Heartless. Sorry.
I'm just trying my best. All right, Fanatical. Fanatical is your one-stop shop for over 1 million Fanatical is your one-stop shop for over 1 million passionate gamers like you. Whether you're craving the latest AAA title, quadruple A title, hunting for indie games, or hunting for gems, Fanatical has you covered. With a massive selection, unbeatable prices, you're sure to get your gaming fix. Just click on the link in the show notes of this podcast. This was an absolute flawless.
Here you go,
affiliate
Harlow.
link section of the
I'm
podcast.
gonna help you out here. I'm gonna adjust the spacing on these to a little bit wider. So there you go. There you go.
I
That should be
see.
easier to
We
read.
got
There
to
you go.
make it wider.
Yeah.
Okay.
You see how that is? See, there you go. You see how that goes?
Wow.
I see. I see.
By the way, Elden Ring is
That
also on sale on Fanatical right now. If y'all want to check that out, it also, if you
How much is that?
purchase using that link, we get a little kickback from that as well. So if y'all want to check that out, we'll appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
But yeah, that was a dope ass. Make
Yeah.
what wider? This man.
Seems
Anyways,
like every time we have a guest on, it's just like even better. Let's say this.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Every
Oh, yeah.
I
time.
love having
Especially
guests
more
on.
here.
well, Goot's a natural, bro. Goot's a
Yeah.
natural. Mr. Maury's
Thanks
a natural.
for putting up with our ridiculous takes on everything. We appreciate you, Maury.
Maury was dope. Maury was dope. I
Hey,
think the
I
chat really
have
liked him
I have
as well. So, you know, who
yeah.
knows? He could
I
come
have
back.
an ally. I have an ally in the health of the gaming industry. I have an ally. Let's go.
Well, yeah.
Guys, I cannot afford $70 games. I'm being honest. I'm a man with bills. I don't even know how
I'm a
Cash
man
is
with
gamer.
children.
He got 12 kids. He
The
got
the
12
the
kids.
podcast
I
the
don't know how
podcast
he
is on a
even
wrap.
has any games.
The podcast is on a wrap, right? We're pretty much done with the recording part, right?
Yeah, we're pretty much
No,
done.
we're done.
Okay,
It's done.
so-
I don't hear,
okay,
but I
okay,
don't hear
Harley,
Maury. I
what
don't
did I
hear.
say?
No, where he went? Maury, you still here? Oh,
So
okay.
Harless, I'm gonna
More
put
Shot.
take a look.
No shot, guys. I was muted that for whatever period of time I was muted. I was muted. I was literally saying Heartless is the only one who has bad takes out of anyone. I was grilling him for his destruction of the health of the industry. He didn't even hear it. No. I was just
the
being
hell to the industry,
health
bro.
of the industry. Yeah,
guys,
that's you.
No,
that's
we're fighting.
you.
We're fighting. This is fighting words.
Okay,
Nah, this is
so
the after
Heartless,
podcast special.
I
We're
want you
fighting.
to-
No, stop. I don't want to hear this. I don't want to hear this. You guys are forgetting. We live in an economy. Yo, life is getting hard, bro. Gas is $4. Gas
Pretty
is
much.
$4.
He's not wrong.
T-shirts. What are you talking about? If the gaming industry cannot figure out how to make games affordable, yo, guys, if movie tickets were $40 a movie ticket, would you go watch movies?
$40?
No,
If
call that a
movie tickets
false
were $40 a
equivalency.
movie, Would you
No.
go watch movies?
No.
In theaters? No,
Nah,
right? What
definitely
happened
not.
with the movie industry? We told the movie industry we refused to pay more than what we pay now. And what did they have to do? They had to reinvent themselves. They had to put bars in movie theaters. They had to come up with deals. They had to come up with passes. All this. They had to figure it out. Why make it so we have to figure it out? I'm not with that. I'm broke. I didn't pay for this. Some girl gave it to me. Shout out to her.
Cash. Remember that photo I put in the Gamer Actual chat earlier today about inflation in games? Are you able to put that on the screen? Are you able to put that on?
No, I don't think I can do it with this
No?
one.
So Heartless, if you go, there is
Oh,
a
you're trying.
photo.
So no, here's the justification where Germ's trying to. About to say right now, Heartless. We're actually spending less on gaming today.
So sorry.
We're broke, Germ.
But now that we're done with recording, I can say why I feel like the way I do, and there's actually science to back this up.
Mm.
Okay, so
Seems like me and Germ might know what we're talking about, Heartless. I don't know.
Based upon 1980, all the way back to 1985, the gaming industry there is a chart that we have. I wish I could show it. I don't know if there's a way
Just drop the
to.
link. Drop the link. Let
It's
me
a photo
see
I
your
have. It's not a
reckless
link.
justification for financial abuse.
It's
Let
a
me
just
see this.
it's a okay. So based upon inflation, game pricing has been uh adjusted for inflation. So I don't know. I wish there was a way to put this photo on there. It's got to be a way. Able to.
This man talk
No,
about adjusting
it
for
doesn't let
inflation.
me. It doesn't let me. No, I want the feature is disabled because I'm not the host. But anyway, so maybe I can.
Just drop the link. Just drop the link.
I'm gonna drop. We're all in the Cashleria Discord, so I'm gonna put it in there. Hold on.
We're still live on the stream.
I'm not able to share my screen, Harless. It's only Cash because he's the.
No. I said just drop the link in the chat so we can all click it. Anyone who's in the stream can click it.
Can click
Well,
it.
because it's
Yeah.
a private Discord. Not everyone will be able to see it.
Oh, but where did you get it from? Do you remember where you got it from?
Bro,
It's on my
not
phone.
to mention,
that I
just to
screenshot,
even get into the gaming
so.
space, at minimum you're spending $400 just to at minimum. That's the cheapest console you're gonna get.
All right, I'm gonna put the
Titus,
link
if
here,
you
but I don't
keep
think anyone's
gaming,
gonna be able
you're
to
never gonna
see
leave your
it.
mom's house, bro. At the rate these games come out and at the prices they come out, and all this FOMO we put you through and the Twitch sphere, you're not leaving your mom's house.
All right, I think most of us are in the Lyria Discord. So I'm right here. I'm chilling in this community chat. I'm gonna post it right there for all the world to see. Give me 1 second. Just gotta get my phone.
I can only buy games because I live with my mom. That's funny as fuck.
Okay,
Yo,
so
Titus, she
anyone
not
that is
wrong,
in the
bro.
Cashleria Discord, anyone who is not in the KXI Discord.
Harley, start your
Please
stream.
get in it.
Start my stream right now.
Yes.
Okay, you don't have to rate into me, bro. No, there's no pressure.
I don't care.
Okay, so based upon inflation, so back in 1985, games were $40 on average. So adjusted for inflation for 1985, that was on average about $114 adjusted for inflation.
Yeah.
So it went up to
every other part of life
$55
got
in
so much harder.
1990. That's $130 for adjusted for inflation. Then you have $60. It rose up to $60 in 1996. The inflation went down to 117, and then in 2000, the average price dropped to $50. So that's $89 for adjusted for inflation. In 2005, again, it went up to $60. That's $95 adjusted for inflation. 2013, again, $60. Adjusted for inflation, that's $79. And then in 2020, games are now $70. And adjusted for inflation, that's $82 per game. So adjusted for inflation, Heartless, we're actually paying, it's actually less impactful on our wallet now than it was in 1985. So just to put that in perspective. So
I'm gonna put this in perspective for you.
So and
okay?
hold on. Well, last
I'm
point
putting
I
this
want to
in
make.
perspective
Last point I want to make, Heartless, and you're gonna tell me that a game that was made in 2020 costed less to make than a game in 1985. So you hear my point? So
Yo.
games have only gone up in $30 in value for the retail price, but yet the price to make them has gone up probably 20,000%. You know?
Bro, the cost of living was 1/4 it was back then.
In 1985? Well, yeah, that's probably true. But I'm just saying.
Yo, people, you know what I'm saying? Of course, the games have to
So
get.
the
Of course,
point that
they
I'm
gotta
trying
get
to
cheaper,
make, this
bro.
is not healthy as a business model for a whole industry. That the
Bro,
cost
if
of everything goes
Fortnite
up,
can
the price
release a
has
game
to.
for free, if Epic can release a game for free, and it can survive for 10 years, then other companies need to figure it out. I'm sorry, you need to figure it out. It's not
Oh,
on me.
yeah,
It's not on
that's
me to
actually a
figure it
good
out.
point, Titus. So Titus said this, all right? But the top comment on this photo also has a good point. That games also didn't have microtransactions, which is basically industry standards at this point, which means we're actually spending more monies on games. You think about it, because yes, initially we don't pay that 60. When we pay that $60, it might not be like in terms of inflation, it doesn't reflect that. But then when you account for the DLCs that we buy, the season pass that we buy, and all those other shits, those other small trinkets we buy, costumes, outfits, gun
But you're
skins,
gonna
all that
tell
shit.
me a game like Ocarina of Time costs less to make than Grand Theft Auto 5, and they cost the same? You see the disconnect there. I mean, granted, yeah, GTA 5 has microtransactions in it, but it's not
Think
gonna
about it
make
though.
up.
But the biggest
drastically.
games
Bro,
right
a
now
Sega
have
Genesis.
microtransaction.
Bro, a
That's
Sega
the point
Genesis
I'm making.
costed $189 on release.
Mm-hmm.
$189.
Adjust that for inflation.
Nowadays,
$189 adjusted for inflation. How much is that?
bro, nowadays a PlayStation $600.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, those numbers don't add up. It's not sustainable, is what I'm saying. If we continue down this road of making these AAA games, I know we don't like that word, but at the entry point, the price points they are now, the industry's gonna crash. It feels
the
like it's
industry's not gonna
inevitable.
crash. You know what's gonna happen? I'm gonna tell you exactly what's gonna happen. It's not gonna crash. The companies that cannot figure out how to sell high-selling games with the money that they have, they will die. And the companies that do figure it out, they will get stronger. They will make more money, and then they will afford to make more games. And they will have more games from the companies that manage to grow strength. Look at Apple, Samsung. They make the most phones in the world. Only two companies, because they managed to survive and outcompete all of their competition. Competition breeds innovation, and competition breeds it breeds good product, and it breeds good pricing. You're gonna
All right.
we don't need 200 game studios on the planet. We don't.
So look
And
at
it's
this.
not our job to figure out how to feed all those people.
189 adjusted for inflation for 2024 is a $408.
So what do you think, more? I mean, you don't have to agree with me on this. You don't have to agree with any of us, but I'm curious, what is your perspective on all this?
Yeah, no, I
Me?
mean,
We're way
Oh.
outside the out of bounds of the podcast now, so feel free to tell whatever you want.
I love it. No, yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't think. I think it's like for me, I want to see games priced at what they're worth, right? So a prime example is something like Skull and Bones, which just takes the fabric of Black Flag, right, and then just kind of gives it an up-res. You know what I mean? That's not a quadruple A game, and it's certainly not worth
Not even.
$70.
It's just the ship sailing mechanic of Black Flag.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so in my opinion, a game like that should be priced at like 40, you know? But if God of War 3, you know what I mean, for all that comes with that kind of a game, you know what I mean? If they want to charge me 80 for it, like I guess my thing is this. I think that Heartless's fear is, and this is a fair fear because clearly Ubisoft did it with Skull and Bones, right? Is that as soon as you see a price increase, just like we saw with the $70 price increase, right? Everybody follows suit. Nintendo jumped in, and their first game at 70 was the Breath of the Wild sequel, Tears of the Kingdom, right? Everybody falls in line. I would like to see a world where we as the consumer are wise enough to say that's not worth $70, that's worth 40, and we're not going to pay 70 for it. And then developers have to put it down to the price it actually is worth. But then when you get a game that is worth, more than $70, something like maybe Grand Theft Auto 6, all right, I think it makes sense that game costs $80, maybe even 90, for the amount of content you're getting, for the quality of the product you're getting. I just don't think that there should be a standard price point for games because I just don't think that that's an efficient way of doing business.
So yeah, I have said it in previous variable pricing. I think is the way to go. Like again, AAA should be a certain price point. Like a game like FF7 Rebirth, that should be like a certain price. GTA 5, or GTA 6, certain price. A game like Prince of Persia: The Last Crown, that should be a certain price. A game like, an RTS, a massive open world game, that should be a certain price. A game that is just like a life simulator, like Goat Simulator or whatever the hell, that should be a certain price. Variable pricing. So just on the price alone, you have an idea what you're getting.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
the way cars are, So that's how
Look at
I
that in
feel.
the
I think that
industry.
would be healthy for the industry. I really do.
Okay. But yeah,
see like
that's
little
pretty.
pockets.
Yeah.
You see it with Helldivers. You see it with Miles Morales. You see it with whatever. I don't know.
I would like to be able to look at a price tag on a game and kind of estimate exactly what I'm going to get from that instead of gambling and potentially wasting $70 because I'm not going to like it, or it's not what I consider worth $70,
Yeah.
But
yeah,
I
bro.
don't know.
That's pretty much
That's my take. That's my take.
This was
my
a pretty
Cash, you
good
wanna
pod. That was a pretty good
Yeah,
pod.
that's why I feel the way I am about gaming, and I feel like there's three paths: changing, no longer doing these AAA games, and keeping the price that they are now, and so the games aren't so bloated price wise, well, with terms of the budget, or microtransactions stay, and ads, and then there's also. So those are kind of the three avenues I think that lay before us, and I think us as consumers need
I
to
have a
decide
question and
what
an
we wanna
idea.
do.
What's
Yeah.
that?
I have a question and an idea.
Mm-hmm.
What if every game that was multiplayer and single player, what if you paid for those separately? What if the single player aspect of the game was $20 and the multiplayer aspect of the game was $40?
That's cool.
That
Or even the
that would make
multiplayer
sense.
part be
That
free,
would make sense.
and then the
That would make
con.
sense. If
yeah.
you're somebody who doesn't care about the story mode of a game and you just want to play online, like if I buy a Call of Duty, I just want to play online,
Mm-hmm.
I can buy just the multiplayer. Or if somebody just cares about the story mode of a game and they don't want to, and they're not going to invest in playing any multiplayer, but they're like, damn, I'm not going to play multiplayer, but they want me to spend $60 on this game, that's tough.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like that. That makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, Hades saying Halo, it did $60 campaign and free multiplayer.
Dude, I
Mm.
was
They
just
tell you it's
thinking about
free.
that.
They tell you that it's free. How do you know that that's free? How do you know that's not baked into that $60 price?
No, more than
You know?
like
Well, no, you don't pay. You don't.
You
Pay.
don't
You
have to
can
play
the
multiplayer.
multiplayer part of the game for free.
Yeah. So yeah,
I like the idea of downloading both individually. Like
Call of Duty
Helldivers
already
is a
does it.
great example.
Call of Duty
Helldivers
already
is a
does it.
great example here. I can play the game just with friends and not care about the lore. But in case I'm a person where the game grabs me and I want to know what's the story behind these bugs, I want to know where the world, what is it, Super Earth? What's the origin of Super Earth? I want to know about these things. I'll pay $40 to play some story missions, or you know what I mean. I think that would be cool, and I would buy that. So, it would be a specific audience. It would get a specific audience to buy their product that would actually pay for it. Because how many of us have played the Street Fighter story mode? How many of us have you even played one arcade ladder?
No.
Yes,
Nope.
exactly. It's the content you don't care about. So, there's no point in you paying for it if you don't care about it.
I agree. But the thing that boggles my mind is they give the multiplayer part of Halo out for free, but they charge $60 for the campaign. Does it? Okay, so I'm gonna assume that it costs more money to develop the campaign part because there's cinematics in there, right?
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, as the consumer, that is the part of the game. Even if I were to do both multiplayer and the campaign, you're gonna get way more hours out of the multiplayer. You're going to get way more hours out of the multiplayer.
But they're looking where
It
they put
makes-
more of the workmanship, where they put more of the work for
And
it.
I also think
I
it's part of
see that
marketing
for
too. Companies can tell you things are free all day, like at a restaurant, they give you that free bread or the free chips or whatever. Yeah, the cost of that is cooked into everything else that you get in the restaurant. All the prices of everything are elevated to make up for the cost of that bread or for the cost of that
Of course.
chips.
Of course.
So nothing's free is what I'm saying. They say it's free, but nothing's technically free. They'll make it on the back end with microtransactions or whatever else. That's probably why you have to buy 2 things of coins in the Capcom store to buy 1 costume. This is how they get you. But it is what it is. But what I feel the game industry is being really, like what I just said with the Capcom thing, they're being really dishonest with the way they're trying to make their money, and I want to see that part go away from the industry. Give me a service, Give me something, be straight with me, and I'll pay the money. At least that's how I am as a consumer. I don't speak for all the gaming industry, but that's how I am. So maybe I'm the outsider. So I don't know.
I don't know. We gotta wrap this joint up. I'm on stream already.
Yeah. All right, y'all. But
Anyway, so
tonight was
thanks
amazing.
for bearing with us on that, Maury. It's been a hot topic on the top. We love to get your
I'm gonna
feedback.
get cereal.
I don't know.
Dude,
All right.
this was awesome. This was
Yeah,
awesome.
appreciate you
Thank
for
you
coming
guys so
through and
much.
hanging
This
out
was
with us,
such a
bro.
great pod.
Mm-hmm.
Of course.
Dude, thank you for having me, Cash. Seriously, this was phenomenal, bro. Thank you so much. This was a great pod. Thank you. Thank you.
Of course. If you have anything you want to shout out, like your Twitter, or you want to put a link
Yes,
to
where
your
can the people find you, Maury?
Twitch,
Please give him a
great.
follow on Twitch. We're trying to get him monetized, guys. He needs like 9 more followers to get monetized. Please help him out.
Yeah, if you want to
We're
put a link
close.
to any of your socials here, this is the
Bro,
time.
you have 9 more. Do you realize that you're pretty much, after that, you're pretty much monetized for just streaming for 7 days?
Bro, it's been nuts. Again, it's been this community, and I'm really grateful for that. So thank you to everybody who's come and supported me, giving me a chance. I know I'm new here, but it's been really really awesome. You can find me on social media platforms at the Mori Vita. I've just thrown that in the chat. That's what everything's under right now. It will slowly over time be switched over to GWT Mori, but don't even bother with that. Just come over to the Twitch, throw in a follow, hop into the chat sometime, and
I'll give you a follow
yeah,
on
I'd love
Twitter
to see
right
you in
now.
there. You said what?
I'm going to give you a follow on Twitter right now.
No way.
Yeah, man. Keep it real. You're always welcome back at any additional episodes. Maybe every episode. We'll see. I would love to have him back. I don't know how you guys feel, Cash and Harless. I would love to have Maury back.
No. I'm kidding. Sure. Of course.
I would love that. I would love it. So yeah, we can definitely talk more off
What would
stream, and
be-
we can.
I think maybe the audience might agree or disagree, but I think it'd be cool to have two podcasts a week. One that talks about the games that are releasing, so we actually give them the time, and then one like this that we do on Sundays, which talks about the gaming news. I don't know how you feel about that, Cash. I think that would be cool. And with
That's
the
something
four
we
of
could
us,
talk about later on.
with
But
the four of
yeah.
us, all four of us don't need to be present. I'll talk about releases,
Mhm.
So I think it'd be cool.
Well, yeah, thank you guys for hanging out. We had a fluctuation of between like 15 to 13 people in here at any given moment. Shout outs to everybody that came in and fucking hang out with us today, bro. We really appreciate it. And everybody was a part of the conversation, which we always love. Thank you guys so much. And we're reading out the Heartless. See you guys over there. Much love, much appreciation. This has been the Gamer Actual Podcast. Have a good night. Peace.
Yeah.
We need to get you at that thing. I really want to get you there, bro.
Bro,
You're gonna get there.
we're on
You're
the
gonna get
way.
there. You're gonna get there.
On the way. Are
Have
we
a good
still
night,
live?
Chad. Have a good night. Yeah, we're over at Heartless.
Yo.
Take it away, Harless.
We rated out to him already.
Yeah, great shit, Maury. I hate to
Yeah, it's a
cut
big
and
raid,
run.
too.
Normally we do a little conversation about the show afterwards, but I had to pick up my wife from work, so normally I wouldn't just cut and run like this. So
Well, I'm going right back
Oh.
to work too.
You're good,
dude.
Germ. Take care of your woman. You're fine, bro. You're fine. No worries.
It's been an honor chatting with you, man. Like, my DMs are always open if you have any topics you want to talk about in the podcast, or just my DMs are open. Yeah, don't be a stranger. And we have that gamer actual that you're part of, chat that you're part of now. If you have anything you want to talk about, shoot the
Yeah,
shit in
just
there.
shoot, just
We don't
throw
mind.
them in there, bro. Anything you find,
Yeah.
any gaming news, whatever.
Yo,
Yeah,
that cinnamon
absolutely.
toast crunch.
I haven't had cinnamon toast crunch in years.
But
My
I
favorite
would like to
cereal,
pick your
bro.
brain at some
Used to be.
point on your stream when I come to visit about more about your takes of the gaming industry, because I think we're kind of aligned in the health of the industry, and we see the
Spending more
smoke,
money.
and you know what I mean. And where there's smoke, there's fire.